What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And today, listen, let me tell you, this is the first individual that I've actually met online 3 years ago. It's actually about the 3-year anniversary now. I met online, never met on person, but he's been the most on this podcast. He's been on this podcast probably over 20 times. You've seen this man travel the world. You've seen this man at Super Bowl, at Grammys. He was one of the best dressed in 2022. Listen, you see him on tour. You know, we have in the building today, we have the Reels boss, Walshy Fire from Major Lazer in the building today. What's going on, Reels boss?
Real boss in the building. Man, Muscle, it's a pleasure to finally meet you, man. Shout out, man. Big up. You're done already, man. I wish y'all could see this post on the wall right here, man. This shit got me rolling, man. Hey, yo, can you pat? No, you can't. Later on, maybe you can edit.
I'm going to think, you know what I'm going to do for you? Because even when Willie was here, he was saying the same thing. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to put it on the video so they can see what you guys are seeing.
2006 was a dope year, man.
Course,
Big up all of the soul them with up on the flat. Big up Linda P, my cousin. Military Zone, Soca Sweetness, Desert Storm, but most importantly, man, it's the pictures, bro. It's the pictures, man, and also the size of the poster, bro. Yo, big up, yo.
I wanted a life size. I knew when I hit 10 years what I wanted. I wanted a life size poster.
Yo, you got and you got a life size poster. That's that's the exact same size as you are right here, standing right here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Malvern. Original shopping mall, bad boy them, you know. Yeah, Music Hut. A lot of people might not know. I think you're just documenting it yourself, and I'm just finding out too, man, how long you've been doing this and selling music. And you just told me downstairs about Bobby and Dups linking you right before they joined. They made Black Chiney.
Yeah, this was 99, yeah.
Yeah, man, selling white label records and CDs and stuff like that. And yo, it's been a wild journey, man. And I see the greatness in the poster, my brother. No?
You see when you love what you do, bro? When you love what you do, it's just going to come across in your work. Just like in your work, you love what you do. You seem like you're infatuated with music. Not a genre, but just music on a whole.
That's a fact. And to be honest with you, always was. And I want to say I give credit to that, to growing up in Miami, where it's just a real, even though I grew up in the hardcore Jamaican side of Miami, I grew up in this area named Carol City. Mm-hmm. So shout out to everybody from Carol City, specifically Norland, which is like Juxie Fire from Innocent, English Fire, Richie D, Money D, a sound called Don Juan, Black Shadow Sound with Triton and everybody.
Triton, yep.
Yeah, man. All of that is Norland.
Okay.
Right? Norland, you know, and of course, everything you could think of, Norland. Norland was the real Badman area, and that's where I grew up. And so ask any of them, they'll all tell you, man, the stories of Norland itself is a whole show. That's a whole show by itself. But it was also just, the rest of the city was very eclectic. You know, you had people from South America, Central America, and the rest of the Caribbean. And so I ended up first enjoying other Caribbean music like Calypso, Soca, Zouk, Compa. That's really where I started. And then when I went to college in Clark, Atlanta, that's where I got DC, Chicago, Detroit music. Like when I got into like house music and go-go, yo, I remember the first time I went to a go-go, man. Shout out to everybody from the DMV. IBEX was the name of the club. Yeah. And shout out to Emperor Sound. It was Diver D and Steelie. Them did I select.
Okay.
Emperor Sound. I clashed Emperor Sound in IBEX.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Shout out to me and Ja Prince. We went up there and boy, we put our life on the line, bro. I'll tell you that much, man.
But
I didn't think we was getting out the building that night. I didn't think we was getting out the building that night. Alive.
I'm gonna keep that in mind, but I want to even go before that.
Yeah, man. But hold on there. Big up Shines. Big up Philip 5. Big up everybody that squashed the acceleration of what was gonna happen that night. Cause trust me, that night there. Yeah, man. I'm big up to Emperor Sound. Really, it's crazy how it's like later on you become really good friends with people. Big up to Freddie Dredd. Big up to all his sons. Yes. Big up to all the cousins. I'm big up to Naj, the new selector. I'm big up to Fortis, and everybody that's running the sound right now. They're doing a great job. One of my favorite sounds in America. But yo, go say what y'all say no, because that story is
the Emperor. They've been holding down that city for as long as I could remember.
Yeah, man.
There, them and Earthquake. Bobby was playing and all those.
Yeah,
stuff.
man. Bobby Chiney used to play Earthquake. A lot of people don't know that.
You know what I mean? So let's go from beginning, because again, a lot of people, they might have seen you, okay, from even the Carol City and stuff like that. They seen you on stage, but I want to go even before that to like, even where were you born?
I was born in Jamaica, man, Halfway Tree. So I went to Halfway Tree Primary, and then I came up and lived in Connecticut for 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And then my mom was like, hell no. I remember she used to take the bus to work. She was doing like elderly care. And she came inside. It was winter. And she said, yo, we out of here, bro. That's it.
Yeah, man.
No, I can't
The winter was bad out there in Connecticut at that time there?
Yeah, man, because it's right next to New York. So you're getting the same kind of Toronto, New York weather. And then we moved to Miami, and that was it. Lived in Miami ever since.
Yeah. What type of child were you back then growing up, either between, how old were you when you left Jamaica?
What kind of child I was? I was a great child, man. I got my first job at a barbershop around the corner from my house at 13, man. I realized that my mom had pressure, you know, so my mom was hitchhiking to work every single day. She worked in South Miami at a place called Florida Power and Light. And Carol City's in North Miami.
Okay.
So she would hitchhike to work every single day. Now, mind you, it was a different time, right?
For sure.
But if you watch Forensic Files, shit was going crazy back in the day. So, you know, just watching my mom hitchhike to work every day and hitchhike back home. At 13, I kind of was like, yo, I need to step up. Yeah, man. And so I got a job at a barbershop, Mr. Russell's barbershop on 176 and man, I think it was like 21st Avenue. I can't remember. Which, by the way, I want you to know, this was in a house. So it wasn't a barbershop like you would think. This was a guy who had like a section that he built outside his house. Yeah, man. Real ghetto thing, man. Yeah. So, and yeah, I just was cleaning up at first, and then I would ask my brethren them, could I cut their hair, and I would mess their hairs up. Shout out to Arthur, shout out to Oscar, shout out to Pooh, shout out to everybody that was like, yo, come through and mess my hair up. But I learned how to cut hair, and I ended up cutting hair for, man, I mean, I still cut hair, you know, so I was cutting hair for but that's what I did for like 10 years. As
a barber?
Yeah, as a barber. So at like 14, I got really good. And then from 14 on, I cut hair. I cut my own hair. You know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't got that much left, but, you know, we working with.
You used to cut your own hair?
I still cut my own hair. I mean, it's nothing to do it now. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you can zoom in on the fade. Nah, there's no fade, man. I just got straight 0.
Yeah.
Nah, there's a 1 actually. But yeah, I did barbering for a long time, man. And that barbershop was one of the most interesting barbershops. I'll say you that much. And I want to say this, man. Carol City had a lot of love in the city. It's a great city to grow up in. It's a great part of town. Big up to everybody that still lives in Carol City, New Orleans. Man, I have great memories, and I had a lot of fun. But there was a lot of bad elements in that part of town. And you know what I'm saying? And my generation happened to have probably more than any of them because the crack era came in and, you know, a lot of stuff.
So did you see the neighborhood switch at that time while it was
No, when I got there, it was bad. But it was not, I was too young. And so,
got you.
You know, I'm outside still. I'm 11, 12 years old. I'm outside.
Yeah.
But it's not till I probably reached like 13, 14. It's really not till I reached the barbershop that I'm seeing and hearing and I'm knowing.
And getting a better understanding.
Yeah, man, I'm knowing who's who and how the program run. Like in that shop, man, they had a table where you had to put your gun as you walk in. So everybody had to respect the thing, and you have to put your gun on the table as you walk into the barbershop. And you have for sure respect. You can't just in there with your gun.
Yeah.
Everybody just put the gun on the table. Sometimes the table pile up with gun, you know, dog, shotgun and bag of things. And I used to just be cutting hair in there. So, you know, I had to really make sure I cut good. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, I learned a skill that I carried with life, and I was able to generate a lot of money. Them time is $5 haircut, them thing there. And then I ended up working at this fish shack up on 183rd Street and 67th Avenue, right by American High School. And I started working there. You know, it's like a deep fry. You know, like the ghetto, like, you know what I'm saying? They have these places, man. So, you know, you got to you got to drop it in the grease and bag of things. But, and then I also started to sell tapes. So that's why I always respect you, bro.
Okay.
Because I was called Cassette Freak LP.
That was your name back
That was my name, because my real name, right? So I was known as Cassette Freak LP. And I had a big box with the tapes, and I drew the artwork on it. Man, I got to send you a picture of all that stuff. I still have it.
Yeah.
And I would walk around with a boombox. So I'd walk around the flea markets. I would walk around South Beach. Yeah. And I would sell dancehall tapes, of course. But I also sold like hip-hop mixtapes.
Yeah, because that's you're in South Beach, and that's big out there.
Yeah, man. South Beach especially.
Its own type of music, too.
But don't sleep. Reggae and dancehall was big on South Beach as well. They had a club called... was it Rockers Island? I can't remember. There was a bunch of stuff happening dancehall-wise on South Beach. To be honest with you, in the late 80s, early 90s, you only partied on South Beach. There wasn't really anything local.
Okay.
You know, you just had like a little rum bar there, man, thing. But for club life, the strip. On. Yeah, man. And you had Cameo and Mansion and all these clubs. So, you know, eventually I got into selling the tapes, and I was down there, man. I mean, I sold tapes in the hot sun at the flea market, and then I would take the bus, the 83 bus, down to South Beach, and then I would sell tapes at night to the club people. So I'd spend the whole day with a radio, extra batteries, boom, bam. You know, and remember now, if you know anything about selling tapes, and I think the reason why I picked up selling tapes is because Halfway Tree was like cassette capital. You know, you had Jack Stereo, who was my personal brethren to this day. Still check him. He was really the king. You had Skunk Man. Yeah. You had cassette Peter. Yeah. King. I can't remember his name. King James. Can't remember.
And this is all by the bus terminal.
All by the bus terminal, right? Which was not a bus terminal back then. Yeah. But in Halfway Tree, you had all these guys right around the peripheral, you know. And so you could just kind of like, Jack Stereo was probably the only one that had like an indoor shop. His shop was in Skateland.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of me, Bogle, in his shop in Skateland. Yeah. It's one of the wickedest pictures. And I'm like 15 years old. Because I would fly down, re-up. Because them Monday used to have the next day.
Okay, so you were getting your connect was straight from Jamaica.
Straight from Jack Sauer, straight from Skunkman, straight from Cassette Peter, and all of them. I would literally go down or constantly be in contact with who's coming up, make them go around, buy everything. But I would go down as much as possible too, and have a direct link with the cassette them that were the freshest. So I would honestly say there was a time, and shout out to Money D. He definitely was probably the most popular cassette man in the Norland area, in the Carroll City area. But man, I had a run. I did have a run because I did it from day to night.
Cassette Freak LP.
Yeah, man. Cassette Freak LP, man.
And what even got you into selling tapes? Especially, remember, you're a barber. Were you barbering and selling tapes, or you left barbering and
Tree job me have at the same time, you know. And me I go school. Yeah. And I'm playing sports. Yeah. And I'm playing American football.
All at once?
Yeah, I'm quarterbacking for American football, wide receiver for American football, and I ran track. You know what I'm saying? So, again, because I see my mom.
So you knew you had to get
yeah, man.
Also?
So I never kept a single dollar in my life. To this day, every dollar I make, I just give it to her. And if I want something, I just say, yo, give me this.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then, yeah, man, cash, I would just hand it straight to her, man. And if I needed to buy food, she'd give me some money. But every single dollar I ever made, I would just hand it to her. You know what I'm saying? And my older sister ended up being addicted to drugs, and she passed a couple of years ago. She drowned. Because she still couldn't kick the drug habit. And my younger sister was going through a lot, and my dad had 12 kids. So, you know, it's sometimes it's a rotation of brothers and sisters coming in and out the house. Shout out to my three closest to me, Dave, Eric, and Tony. And then, you know, Courtney Walsh is my oldest brother.
Yes, the big cricketer.
Yeah, the big cricketer. So, you know, my dad having 12 kids, it was always like, some kind of rotation of who are these new people coming in and out. You know, my mom.
Oh, this is
my mom worked it all. My mom took care of it. Yeah, my mom, and I would just meet them.
Yeah,
I would just meet them. You know, and they say, "Yo, your brother, this, you know," and I would just be looking at them like,
"Okay,
what's up?"
Yeah, we're here now.
Yeah, man. I remember when I met my brother Muhammad, who lives back in Jamaica now. I just remember looking at him and going, "Man, I've seen you before."
Yeah,
but I didn't even know that we were brothers.
It's just going through certain things that's why I like to have these conversations, to really know how you became the person that you are today. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people just see you doing things and they think that's just how it went.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they don't understand the psychology, how you
I
mentally got there.
Right. I think you're doing a great job of all your interviews, but definitely I think understanding that when you see somebody that might be considered doing well, like myself, or somebody that's achieved the level of something like someone could say about me, yeah, man, it's not just today I woke up and, you know what I'm saying? My mind was already like this.
Yeah.
And so having 3 jobs and being, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I never quit any of these jobs. If anything, I took on more jobs.
Yeah.
It makes sense as to who I am now, for sure.
Right there. So you're selling tapes, you're going to school, you're at the barber stuff. When do you actually decide to go from selling music to actually getting involved, where you wanted to start DJing and stuff like that?
Yeah, man. So that didn't happen until later, man. I went to Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta. I knew at 18. Yo, hold on now. I know for a fact that the person who is doing this show don't have his phone on loud.
So hold on, Walshy. You couldn't make that just
This is supposed to be quiet on the set. So anyway, when I went to Clark Atlanta, that's when and so at 18 I was like, yo, I got to get out of Miami. I was like, yeah, man, Miami. I love Miami, but I also see the bubbleness of it, and a lot of people, I think they don't mind being in a bubble, but I was like, yo, this bubble is killing me, man. I was like, yo, same every day. And I think that's going to be the ongoing story throughout this whole interview, is not wanting to just be same every day. And I just randomly threw a Hail Mary and was like, yo, I'm just going to apply to a bunch of schools, and Clark Atlanta accepted me. And what a joy. Yo, the best 4 years of my life, bro, was at Clark Atlanta University. That's when I joined dancehallminded.com, which would be like 95, 96. I think like 96.
That's the early
internet, man. I want you to know, I remember when they went, yo, here's the internet.
Of course.
Yeah, I was there when they went, yo, here's a computer and here's this thing called the internet.
That makes noise when you have to call through a telephone.
Yeah, AOL. And so shout out to everybody that was a part of dancehallminded.com. I cannot say enough. I won't even begin to call out names, but obviously Tarantula, who was here, was a part of Dancehall Minded.
Okay.
Yo, if I start to say names of people that were on Dancehall Minded, you'd be like, no way. But I will say this much: everybody that was on Dancehall Minded had a long life in dancehall, and many of them achieved greatness. Like Jimmy Spliff is a great example of a person who I know from dancehallminded.com. Drew from Irish and Chin, C-Thug, Irish and Chin himself was somebody that was on that website. And I'm not saying they started at dancehallminded.com, but they were participants in it.
And this was Dancehall Minded was more of a message board than you.
It was just a message board. It was just a message board.
Yeah, just
a message board. Kid Star. So all of us is arguing every single day about dancehall. But at that point, our participation level was pretty low. I don't think anyone was really playing sound like that. We were all teenagers. Some of them was playing sound, but again, like that, not really. We were very much more fans and supporters of the music. And that's how we participated. But like I said, if I run down the names, it'll be like a whole other thing, because it's anybody and everybody that you could think of, man. And I would love one day to have a whole, just maybe a little short documentary on Dancehall Minded.
Yeah.
Shout out to Peter Dean Rickards, aka Afflicted Yard, rest in peace. Like, yo, the amount of people that were warring on dancehallminded.com.
Because this was pre-dancehallreggae.com.
Correct.
With Scrappy them.
Correct. This was before that.
Yeah.
Right? So Scrappy used to be on dancehallminded.com.
Because I think at one point, the two sites were basically running at the same time.
Correct. And warring.
And warring.
And warring. Ask anybody remember some of them early time they were dancehallminded or dancehallreggae.com a war. And meet up on the dancehallminded as that side, the gang. And the man would I say, yo, we would I say, yo, make we go over dancehallreggae.com and just create fuckery. Just go over there and just cause trouble. And all of us would go over to dancehallreggae.com and just cause beer trouble. Just be in the chat, yo, cursing everybody out like, yo, fuck all y'all. And then we go back over. It's like a drive-by. Like, and then we go back over to dancehallminded.com and laugh.
The man them went on a drill, bro.
Yo, let me tell you something. Big steppers were on dancehallminded.com, bro. You know? And like I said before, many of them are doing really great things. And so, you know, salute to everybody that was there from day one. And a lot of people just don't remember, don't acknowledge that greatness is just not born overnight, man.
No, it's overnight success is usually based on something that you've been doing for the past 10 years.
Exactly.
Minimum.
Exactly.
You know
I
what
never
mean?
say less than 10.
Yeah.
I tell everybody like, yo, because I always get that question like, yo, what do I do to be like you? Like, first of all, don't be like me.
You don't know the journey.
Second of all, there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to be relatable, you know? But second of all, just know that if you're looking for some kind of glory in the first 10 years, you're in it for the wrong reasons, and therefore the universe just doesn't deliver like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's impossible, but you got to really love this shit for 10 years with no love, no money, no clout. Nobody not even look upon you for 10 years.
For 10 years.
And then all of a sudden you start realizing that the respect just grew in that 10 years, and you begin to see the rewards of doing what you love to do without demanding some kind of, you know, return from it.
But that's called the process, because when they say fall in love with the process, that's what people don't understand. The process is that time before the bang.
Yeah, man.
You understand that process is how you got here. Fall in love with the process.
Right. But yeah, man, so Atlanta's where I started to DJ. I got with a sound crew called Changes International from Nannyville.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Big up Ja Prince again. Big up Jason Skywalker. Then we do things like we clash. Emperor, my very first clash was with Walshy Fire. My first clash.
What
and then I
song
play
was
one
he
song
playing
called
at that
Cancer.
time?
Cancer.
Yes, he told me about
Sorry,
that.
Capricorn.
Yes,
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Big up Cancer. Big up to War, BZ. Big up to King Hippo and the Cancer crew. No, Capricorn was himself. And I think Capricorn still played too.
Capricorn versus Changes, and this was in Atlanta this happened?
Yeah, man. And this had to be like 95. And it's me versus Nashin. I must beat him bad that night, brother. Big up Nashin, man. Always a friend for life, man. Nashin, man.
So
real
you
big
were
talent.
always a MC at that time or a DJ? Or what?
No,
what
I
did
never
you
even
specialize?
touched turntable.
Okay.
I never owned one record.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Ja Prince was a selector. Fully. And we had a female selector too called Selector Princess, which was Ja Prince's sister.
Oh, so all three of you guys were on Changes.
Yeah, man. No, there was enough of us on Changes, man. There was Pablo, a white Jamaican guy who used to play a song called Oneness. There was Chiga, who plays Love People. Sorry if I'm forgetting anybody, but there was a few of us. And then there was the Jamaica team with DC. I had DC on my show on the Quarantine Clash. I brought Changes on for a throwback.
Yes, because in Jamaica,
It was them,
Changes
Speedy.
was up like an uptown song.
Uptown song, even though them
Yes,
come
man.
from Nannyville, you know.
Okay,
But them clash still, you know.
Yeah.
But at that time, Changes and like Caveman had like the most sizzler in the world.
Changes?
So yeah, man, Changes, bro. When it comes to sizzler and the one them where was like that era of sizzler.
Them I wonder that
Yo,
earliest.
and before that, like the oh what a joy, them song there, Slang Tang rhythm. You know, to me, what also I think Kilimanjaro has some of the best ones of that era too. But yeah, man, Changes was also clashing, you know, but it was just that like we would play at Peppers and some other uptown spots. Also, I want to be very clear, uptown never have no whole heap of selector them time there, you know, but them I keep dance. So they always, back in them days, they had to go to the ghetto to get some good DJs. All of the uptown events usually had some people from the ghetto playing.
That makes sense now. So even if they didn't have all the selectors there, they had to bring the song up there.
Yeah,
to
man.
Play.
Yeah, man.
That's why Changes almost got classified
as an uptown song because
you.
because DC and those guys, they knew how to. They studied it, bro, and they knew how to say, "Yeah, man, ghetto dances, uptown dances," and they knew how to adjust and play for a bunch of uptown Jamaicans, and they got very popular in them, and very popular, man. And, you know, even the uptown would still have them little clash them, you know, like Super Hype used to play a song called Essence. Shout out to Zachary Harding, had a song called Syndicate.
Yes.
That's how I ended up playing Copper Shop.
Oh, well,
Yeah, man. I tell you the story. How long you want the show to be, bro? Yo, trust me, I'm trying to speed this up because, yo, the story. But, you know, I've told my story many times, but I do believe this is our first time having this conversation. And therefore, I'm not going to spare you any details. So go ahead. Let's rewind a little bit.
Okay, so which came first, Changes or Copper Shot?
Changes, no question.
Okay.
From 1994. Yeah, man, to 98, man, I played Changes.
What would you say, okay, you had the clash with Nasheed. What would you say was another big night in your eyes for Changes at that time?
I mean, big as in good or bad. Like I said, let's get to this Ibex with Emperor.
Let's go there.
Me, them time, them a wrestling, you know, and me just, you know, mouth full of gold teeth. I'm representing the 305. I'm like, yo, I'm big bad Miami, and this bitch, we killing everything. And Ja Prince, I'm big up to Shinehead. Again, you're right, because him are the real link. Shinehead, Philip 5. Those are the real DC dudes. Shout out to Silver Springs, Maryland, and shout out to Langley Park, Maryland. Those are the real DC guys. Them I deal with the DC, the DC that you see on the news. You know, the crackhead era DC. Them man, they got you that DC, the very bad DC. So, Philip 5 is cousins with Freddie Dredd and Emperor. That's his family. Just like Shinehead, that's his family. That's probably the biggest family in the world, by the way. Freddie Dredd and his 40 children, and yeah, that's probably the biggest family in the world. Sound system for sure. But anyway, Philip 5 is managing Changes, right? So he lives in Atlanta and he's managing Changes. And we would always bring them down to juggle because enough DC people was living in Atlanta. Atlanta was a hub. It had some of the biggest colleges, so it had people from everywhere, Caribbean people from everywhere. So we were always able to bring in sounds and we juggle and, you know. But we're always a true word because that was what you did back then. There was no real, like, official clash maybe, but from two sound with dub on the bill.
Anything.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, me, Steelie, Diver, we became really good friends. And to this day, man, me and Steelie are bridge. He has a sound now called Blueprint. But man, when I tell you, boy, was I wrong when I thought that friendship was going to go into DC. And yo, me tell you, brother, I'm going to go up by DC. I remember I said him, I'm a bridging, you know. So I'm going to say, yo, the foolishness with me, I go on with Atlanta with them. I go out, man. When we reach a DC, I go kill them blood clot. And me and Ja Prince are planning, you know, brother. And we are planning. Remember I said we are drive up. Them time you have to drive it, go everywhere. We are drive, go up, and we are planning, we are put together the dub them, we are planning. First round was out the box. Vroom. Hot. I'm going to start throw a word from the first round. Ibex Club, man. All I remember, brother, it's like Diver D and Steelie. I say, yo, sorry, not Steelie. I keep calling him Steelie. Jason Steele. I don't know why. My bad, Jason. My bad. It's like, yo, honestly, I'm looking at this right here and it says Fire Kid Steenie. And it's like, it just, yeah.
Put
Jason
Steele in your
Steele.
mind,
My bad.
yeah.
Jason Steele, OG legend. And they, you know, they kind of like, yo, we can run certain joke in Atlanta, you know, but Freddie picked them the two, run the soul joke, you know. So them just easy. But me said, boy, no, man, tonight, man, I earn a big strike because Emperor was always a big song.
Yeah.
Never was not.
No, for sure. 100%.
So I'm going to say, yo, and again, if anybody can just imagine the time, 1996, every song, a war. There's no not. Every song, a war. Every single song, juggling dance, you still end up at do some kind of war.
There's gonna be something in there some way, somehow.
Yeah, man. So you're just always in that mind frame. And yeah, brother. Second round, no. Start light a fire in them, man, and I just see something go ping. I'm look around, I'm gonna see it. I say, oh, what that? I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna just see beer ice. I get thrown down. And Freddie Pitney them a pelt with ice in the but it's like, yo, whoa. And I'm trying to, you're trying to like keep your composure.
Yeah, you're not.
When I say yo, them, they deep. All you see is 100 Rasta on one side. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, yo, man, them a fling ice. I mean, like, yeah, go on. But as I said, more ice start fling, dog. I'm big up to Jason Steele and Diver and those guys, man, because the dance end up kind of stopping right there. Mm-hmm. But them, man, cause me did. I was never an ignorant person. Mm-hmm. But being a light skinned guy from the ghetto,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You gotta fight a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was always having to fight. Like I always had to fight because I'm light skinned. And anybody that's from any ghetto in any world, in America, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So I was really good at fighting because I always had to, so I'm just ready. So, I'm trying to jump out the booth and bag a thing and bag a foolishness. And yeah, man. And we never got to finish that dance. No question, Jason Steele and won that dance. Yeah. Like, let's not think I'm trying to say that. Because they came in around after that and dropped every bounty killer with them having a dog. And them time the emperor have every bounty killer. Like when I say at that time it was like the Dwayne rhythm. I say, yeah, all right, oh yeah, okay. The boy them repeat everything. Me say, yeah, them song that.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman rhythm. I don't know if you remember that. Are we the girl them I cry for, I die for? We had all those songs on dub too, but when they played it and the place just mash up, man. But anyway, that was a big moment of like really like, reflection, cause you have to drive, go back to Atlanta, dog. You're saying to yourself, like, yo, I feel horrible. And I think any sound man out there that has ever been through a real sound clash where they feel like they lost, it's sitting in their stomach for a little while.
And it's not even like it's a quick flight or you're home, you just go home. This is an hour's drive, so you got to
This is hour's drive. And I'm not talking about a loss where like people judge at the end of the night and then you lost and you shake hands and you say, yeah, man, all right, good clash. We're talking about an angry ending where it's just like, I'm angry as a human being because I felt disrespected that a man fling ice upon me, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm angry as a human. And then, of course, Jason and Diver D were just the best in the game at the time. Like, it's really only Addies and them son that could have matched them, And so I felt that loss energy as well. So, I have it in the pit of my stomach, man. And, yo, one of the quietest rides home, man. Yeah. Trust me when I tell you. But I think that's what everybody has to go through, man, because it just makes you so much better the next time. And you prepare and you wanna catch back our energy for kind of correct this energy in your stomach. And yeah, after that, man, I want to say Changes went on a spree, bro. Juggling, clashing, it was just like a spree, bro. Like we ended up being one of the biggest sounds in the South for sure. Biggest sound in Atlanta, no question. But playing Mikey Faith in Texas or playing in North Carolina, like in the whole region. Yeah, my Changes was
that sound.
Changes was booked.
Yeah.
And also Ja Prince made a lot of good mix CDs as well. Shout out to Unity, Cross and everybody. They pumped a lot of the CDs out into the world. Changes was booked, bro.
That's wild.
So yeah, I look at many of the moments. I might tell you more L's, more losses, stories than wins.
Yeah. Because
the losses are what really define me. The mistakes are what really define me because of how I react after and how I
how you improve
after. Correct. Good word, my brother.
Got you. Even because you brought up something, I forgot you had your locks at that time there. Were you sick? Because I know when I went to Miami, probably this is early 2000s, there's a gazillion barbershops but there's 2 billion Russ.
Yeah,
so
man.
I don't understand who's going to the barbershop.
Nobody would.
The barbers are dreads.
Correct.
You understand?
When you're actually, that's very, that just kind of shows that you're an observant person, man. That's actually factual. Black Americans in Miami all have dreads.
Bro.
All. And so the barbershop is more like a lineup shop. You're just going in there to get a lineup.
Yeah.
But the dreads, and I mean, my dreads were like the Kodak Black kind of dreads, which Kodak Black dreads are a little bit different from how we used to grow them.
So it was more
We used to grow them more like the guy from Steel Pulse, the lead singer.
Congo, you just
Yeah, man. That's how my
anything
dreads
or
was.
anything.
I had like 4 dreads on my head and just everywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm a barber, you know? And so make it make sense, right? Yeah.
Were you saying Rastafari at that time, or that was the style, or it was a combination of both?
A little bit of a combination of both, because my favorite artist at the time was Capleton. And I definitely got into studying religion around that time as well. And so I started to study and read and read and read and read and read. I'm reading Kebra Nagast. I'm reading all these books. But I'm more Yankee than anything. So the Yankee side, the Carol City side, the New Orleans side of me, gold teeth dreads, big ones. You know what I'm saying? I'm wearing a Dickie suit every day. That was probably more of it because I really was representing that style of being from Miami. And when you saw me, you knew I was from Florida. And it was just a way to kind of like, it was like yo, this is where I'm from. And I'm not trying to be like y'all. You know, I want to be like where I'm from and represent. And so, yeah, man, it was definitely a mixture, but much more the Yankee side, for sure.
Because once you say dreads and the gold teeth, that's definitely
man, that was super Miami, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, super Miami. And I remember, there was a girl don't want to see you if you not have them thing there, brother. Like, yeah, man, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro.
Crazy.
Yo, girls did have gold teeth too, you know, like I'm not talking about pullouts. I'm talking about permanent gold teeth. My first couple girlfriends had permanent gold teeth. Bro,
yeah.
Because that's the ghetto.
Why?
And you don't even realize it until you go outside.
But then that's what I'm saying. Why was it like that? Where that was what you used to make yourself feel better because you're in the ghetto. So at least I have this in my mouth as a representation.
So one thing I've learned about traveling, man, and everywhere in the world, it's the same thing. Some places, like in South Africa and Cape Town, they take out their teeth. And taking out their teeth is how they show. Let me get back to what I'm saying. Okay, what I'm saying is everywhere in the world that there's a ghetto, there's men fighting for a hierarchy position. And because you're in this jungle, you're in this like kind of like a war zone or whatever you want to maybe call it, you'll see an increasingly crazier kind of thing happening to show and to posture to the girls and to your enemies.
Status.
That you might not be somebody to mess with, and I have status. So having a gold tooth was an expensive thing. If you had a mouth full of permanent gold teeth, it meant not only do I have money, so ladies, I got money, it also says I'm crazy. I'm going to take my regular teeth, shave them down, and put these gold teeth in. I'm not to be fucked with. You know what I'm saying? And so you started to realize like, and then the dreads was the same thing. The dreads was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about hair.
That's why it's Congo.
Yeah, man,
You know
big.
what I mean?
We call them wicks. You know, you grew wicks because you was like, yeah. And the girls was like, that's the dangerous guy. That's the guy to get all the girls. But like I said, I was saying, I seen it all over. South Africa, they pull out their teeth. Go look it up. Look up Cape Town gap teeth.
Yeah.
And you'll see it. Tons of videos of people interviewing people with no teeth in their mouth and trying to explain, why do you pull out your teeth? They pull out their teeth for the same reason. The girls see this and go, he's the crazy guy. The other guy see this and go, that guy's crazy. And he becomes at the top. When you started to see people tattoo their face, you know, it's talking to the streets and saying, I mean, now tattooing your face is who cares? But there was a time, and anybody out there that's over 40 years old, you remember the first time somebody had a tattoo on their face, you went, yo, that guy's crazy.
Not even a tattoo. period,
A tattoo period, by the way.
Tupac,
Yeah, man.
that was almost like the rockers and the crazy white guys,
Yeah, man.
those type of people.
When you saw black people getting tattoos, and man, you know, there's a bunch of guys with the same tattoo because there was like only one tattoo to get. Like the Black Panther crawling up there, you know, that's up there, or a phoenix going up, or a Grim Reaper. There's a whole generation of guys with those tattoos. But yo, I remember when I got like my neck tattoo right here. I just remember everybody was like, "Bumbo Claude, Walshy, lose it, the man gone, dog, yo," and the girls was loving it, you know. And I knew subconsciously I was probably doing it for that kind of reaction.
For sure.
Because like I said, especially being light skinned, man, y'all know stuff.
You have to go harder.
You gotta go extra. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you gotta get out there and really, you know, especially if you're gonna stand in the streets like I did. I never miss nothing. I'm in the streets. I'm standing on every corner. Rick Ross and I grew up on the same block. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on the street. I'm outside for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, not only do the people in the community need to constantly show respect to you, you know, complete strangers sometimes. They'll just show you respect because you look crazy.
Because they understand the status and what you're communicating towards them.
Right. There's a silent language happening, you know, and you're communicating silently. And they go, yo, maybe I want to test this guy. Let's see how bad he is. And that also happens, you know. But most of the time, they'll go, let me go find a weaker. Let me go look for somebody that looks like an easier victim or easier opponent, you know. But there were the guys that definitely were like, yo, where the bullies at? Where the big dogs at? I'm coming for them. So
crazy.
You know.
I was watching
real hood conversation now, but anybody out there that know.
Watching an interview the other day with Jay Wills, all right? And I think he was talking about
Jay Will, I'm a bridge, you know. He's like he's my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Jay Will, I'm my best friend, man.
Yeah. He was talking that, I think this was probably in college, that you guys had either a radio show or a video
show. We had a TV show.
Together. Yes. Talk about that.
We had a show called Pond the Hill.
Yes.
It wasn't a TV show, it was a video show, yeah. But this was after Atlanta. So I went to graduate school in Tallahassee. I went to FAMU for graduate school, right? So I decided to go get a journalism degree because I wanted to go into radio. And this is where the journey really starts.
Yeah.
Before that, though, I will say I got an internship at the Clark Atlanta University station, which was a jazz station, jazz only. But they did have one reggae show every Saturday. And I'm sorry, I'm going to, like I said, it's like for some reason everybody's name I'm messing up right now. And
it's the cold. Oh, you had to run in here? It's the cold.
That should be the intro to the show. I'll send you that video. But I am really upset that I'm messing everybody's name up. But rest in peace, I believe his name was George. But he gave me an internship, a legend in Atlanta. And I'm really upset that I don't remember his name. But everybody out there, if you remember CAU Radio, the reggae program, I'm so sorry I can't remember his name right now. Such a great guy. But I got into jazz. So just wanted to let you know, this is my introduction, hardcore introduction into a completely other genre of music.
You were hearing it before, you were around other music before, but now this is now the deep dive into it.
At the station. I'm back then they had reel-to-reels. I'm splicing the reel-to-reels. I'm programming shows. I'm making commercials. And I'm sitting there listening to music and choosing music. So I'm starting to understand how the charts work. I'm saying, okay, these are the records that people are requesting, or when these records come on, our ratings go up. Okay, so now I know how to balance them in between an hour. I drop some new stuff, drop some old stuff, and da-da-da. But CAU had a 100% jazz station, of which now I'm a master at jazz because I ended up interning at the station. But I just wanted to say that to say this is the beginning of like an unlocking of, because before it's just hip hop, dancehall, reggae, right? So then a little bit of soca, zouk, compa. But for the most part, hip hop, dancehall, I'm a thing.
That would make sense, especially where you're coming from.
Yeah, man. But this is the first time that it's a total pivot. And it's just like, I'm in love with it. As far as the whole conversation of being in love with all music. This was the first thing. But yeah, man. So I go to Tallahassee, FAMU. I meet Jay Will there. Jay Will's still the craziest guy I've ever met in my life. I will not tell a Jay Will story here. Can't do my friend like that. Yeah. The maddest youth, man. The most fun to be around in the world, man. And we started a show called Pond the Hill, which is basically we took music videos. He would get the music videos from Jamaica because there was no YouTube. All right, guys, there was no YouTube.
Yep.
And we would show them on local TV, and we would do skits. So I don't know if you remember a guy named Hits from the Street.
Of course.
On BET.
Hits was on BET, boss.
So anybody that remembers Hits from the Streets, I was doing the same. I was mimicking that show. And I would go around
and stuff.
I would go around campus asking stupid questions. I wasn't really doing pranks, but just asking silly questions and laughing at people that they don't even realize they're getting. Because that's one thing, man. Also, just being light-skinned from the ghetto. Yo, you have to be quick with it, brother.
You got to be witty and
fearless.
Yeah.
And you have to know what y'all gonna say is gonna hurt, and just deal with the consequences after. And so that's why, like, I've always been like that, man. I've always been like, yo, when it comes to like, and that's why no one can say anything to offend me. There's nothing. They could talk about every member of my family in the worst way, and it just literally bounces. Like, it don't even bother me because I've been my whole life.
You've been through the worst.
In these jokes. And so, you know, just nothing nobody could say that's going to offend me ever. I just will return a very savage joke. And so, you know, you learn this kind of thing, and I was able to perform. I was able to do this on a with a microphone and a camera around campus. And Jay Will has those videos. I don't know what he's doing with them, but yeah, man, Pond the Hill with Jay Will, and then we ended up doing like a song would come out and it'd be hot, and we would do our own video version.
You guys were like the Weird Al Yankovic of that time there.
Yeah, man, and we were like you were saying Weird Al, but it wasn't really like Weird Al. We weren't changing the lyrics. We were just redoing a video. So like, we did like a Shabba, Love with a Man Twice Her Age, and I would put on like a old man like outfit and wig and everything, and I just dressed like an old man, and we reshot the video. Them thing that's what we used to do.
So he was always into video, but this time you were MC already, so you weren't shy in front of the camera.
No, not at all. Yeah, man. I'm big up to Jay Will, man. Like I said before, stories can't done, man. I just went to my third Super Bowl, but my first two Super Bowls was with Jay Will.
So listen, you can't come here and sit down in this chair, Walshy, and tell me you can't tell me no story.
No, one man says, man, get ready for tell you a story about Jay Will. No, listen, bro. I get ready for say all the stuff I've been saying is a lie. I'm gonna tell you stories. 2 Super Bowls was Jay Will.
Yeah.
Now remember, why the hell would I be at the Super Bowl? Because Jay Will is a crazy guy. So shout out to Jay Will, man. He used to work at MTV. And he used to work at CBS. But before he worked at those jobs, he manifested those jobs by making fake laminates. And ended up like the school camera or whatsoever. Bro, it's crazy how back in those days, if you just had remember, I don't even have clothes that look like I'm a part of CBS. I'm wearing a Dickie suit, regular fucking white tee. Jay Will dressed the same. But because we had a laminate and a camera, because, man, I hate to say this, guys, but there was a time where having a camera was a big deal.
There was no camera.
There was no camera.
No way.
Right? So you have a camera, like a camera, every door open. Bro, we ended up on the sidelines of the it was in Tampa. It was a Tampa Super Bowl. We ended up on the field, on the sidelines, just laughing. Like, yo, I can't believe this worked.
Yeah.
We're on the sidelines now, just standing there, because who gonna stop somebody with a camera and a laminate? And then the second one was in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome. Man, I knew the Georgia Dome like the back of my hand because the school was right next to me, man. And I knew that if you broke pencils off and put them in the doors all around the stadium, the door would just stay open. And all the people that were like security and locking the doors and stuff like that, yeah, man, they wouldn't know.
I'm not even going to ask you how you figured that out.
Yeah, man. But again, it's right next to the school. So we always was in the stadium, you know, but you figure out like, yeah, break some pencils, jam them in. Anyway, Super Bowl's happening and we realized that like some other guys, they were there before us and they figured it out. They're like, oh shit, the door's open. So they were like, yo, we're going to charge everybody to come in through these back doors. So we get to the back doors and we're like, damn, motherfuckers already got here before us. Like, why you took so long to put on a shirt, man? Mm-hmm. And there was all these white people standing at the doors. And he was like, yo, $500 to get in. And white people was like, I got it right here. And he take the money, boom, let him in. Take the money, boom, let him in. So we fight. I'm fighting. I said, nah, man, hold on, man. This is my hustle. I'm fighting. I said, yo. And Jay Will too. Jay was like, yo, we like, yo. Our hustle is in a dog. Are we ting on. Man, them close the door, you know. I mean, Jay Will outside. And I really think those guys was like, we can't charge the black guys.
Because you know the hustle too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Or they figure you should.
That's
know
one thing
happening.
for sure, man. A hustler always know a hustler. Mm-hmm. And he knew that we were sincere and we was really hustling. And we was like, yo, man, we was trying to hustle to get into the show. Mm-hmm. We wasn't really thinking about charging though. We was just thinking about getting in. So we was like, we ain't even gonna fuck with y'all hustle. Mm-hmm. The hustle we created was to us to get in. Y'all got a hustle going on, do it. The door opened up, he's like, come on. And he let us in. So shout out to Jay Will, man. Like I said before, those are two light stories, brother. When I say, yo, I definitely got some hilariously and dark stories as well, man.
That's wild, man.
But Jay Will is one of the greatest people ever in dancehall, filming and directing and all of that something, man. He's one of the most talented people and definitely elevated the level of the game.
So since those are the more private Jay Will story, the public one that everybody knows, or if they don't know, they're going to find out now, is the Vybz Kartel interview. How did that come up now?
I think I told you this story before, but yeah, man, what a day that was.
Yeah.
Me and Jay Will par every day. We in Jamaica, parring every day. That's what we do. And he had an office in Kingston at 10A. Anybody know anything about Kingston, you know 10A. Everybody know 10A. If you live in Kingston, or if you used to live in Kingston, you know 10A, right across from the Canadian Embassy. So anyway, him and Carlene have a company called Creative, again, the names, I'm doing really bad tonight. But they have a creative agency that's doing very well. It's such a great business they had. Mm-hmm. And they rent an office at 10A with Ras Casa having an office in the back of it and, you know, everything like that. But everybody that knows 10A, you know, that's like the Jimmy Cliff kind of spot and stuff like that. And I'm just hanging. I'm just there. Vybz Kartel pulls up to pick up a check.
Yeah.
And Jay will go. Jay will look out the window and say, Vybz Kartel, I walk in, you know. Yo, man, I have a camera, you know. Let's just do an interview. And I was like, yo, I'm not doing interviews. It's not like I have a show. It's not like this is content I'm going to go throw up on a channel. It just was like, why not?
There's a camera, he's here.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Let's just do it. And so it ended up being one of the biggest things I ever did. It's gone insanely viral. Every week somebody retags me in it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube channel, Walshy Fire on YouTube. What a great day that was, man. And what a nice person I was. And I knew Kartel before. Through Cutting Dubs and with Black Chiney, I knew him. But this was our first conversation, first sit-down conversation. And we actually parred for like that whole day. And it was just one of those moments where you're just like, yo, I'm so glad I'm around somebody like Jay Will, whose mind is constantly thinking, you know, and
futuristic.
And shout out to everyone who has a team. And I consider Jay Will a part of my team, and I would be a part of his team, where it's always, our conversations are always, how do we do something? How do we let the dollar circulate between us both? How do we elevate each other? How do we push each other to another? We constantly come with ideas, constantly. But JJ will be one of the most genius people I've ever met in my life. And that was just a moment where he just was like, yo, camera, it's charged. He would already have his camera charged. Like all the things that you just like, that's preparation. Jay will. Just always having camera.
Preparation meets opportunity.
Is success. Always prepared. The man have him camera. He have the film ready. Him have the battery them ready. Yo, it's just like go time.
Yeah.
So
That was big years. Because where I want to go Copper Shot. Does Copper Shot lead you to Black Chiney, or there's
Correct.
something in between? Okay.
There is something in between. Excalibur sound.
Okay, so let's go Copper Shot to Excalibur to Black Chiney.
Yeah, man. So Copper Shot was like how we said Uptown. Changes was Uptown. Copper Shot was Uptown. It was, the dance was, Excalibur first. Holy. The dance was Changes, Copper Shot, Essence. Right? Which would have been like a big Uptown dance at that time.
For sure.
And I met Doggy Slaughter. Doggy Slaughter was hanging with Copper Shot at that time.
So he was in Jamaica.
He was in Jamaica.
Because, okay, when you said Excalibur, I thought it was a song in Jamaica. I didn't realize it was the Trinidad Excalibur.
Yeah, man, but there was an Excalibur in Jamaica.
Is it the same? Were they connected?
Not at all.
Okay, because
He didn't even know about them.
They were, if I remember, they were more like in the country. I don't think they were.
No, Excalibur in Kingston, I think, was either Waterhouse.
You know what?
Yeah,
you might
man.
be right, you know.
Seaview, something like that. They had like the most shaba at the time, and they were not to be played with. I think one of the guys that owns that sound live in Miami now. And I only know that because I tried to connect them. And I was like, your song's called Excalibur. They had an Excalibur. I said, yo, maybe you guys could work together. But if I remember correctly, the guys that I linked for Excalibur just were like, yo, we're done. And we don't really want to do anything else with sound. We're not giving our dubs to nobody, and that's it. But yeah, man. And so I met everybody that night. And me and Jester played Excalibur together. Yes. Big up Jester.
Yes, bro.
Now that I think about it, I feel like I played Copper Shot first, you know?
Yeah.
I think I played Copper Shot first. Yeah, man, I played Copper Shot first. But I met everybody that night, right? And me and Slaughter became best friends after that. We literally became best friends after that. But I remember Sean from Copper Shot, yes, he was like, yo, you're living in Jamaica now, because I'd moved back to take care of my grandfather. So I'm living in my grandfather's house, like near Meadowbrook on Red Hills Road. And he was like, yo, I see that you need help with your grandfather. I see maybe Changes gets a couple dates, but we also have a couple dates. Maybe you could just earn some extra money. So I was like, yeah, I need money because the hospital bills were killing me. So I started taking dates with Copper Shot, man. And it's me, Sean, Ian, who moved to England, and Jason. And Nero Pelpa, Nero P, and some other people. Yeah, man, Nero P's a different story. He's jokes, man. One of the funniest guys ever. And Mark Chin just played a song a little bit after I joined. Cutty wasn't there when I was there, but he was there after, right? But it was me and Mark Chin that used to play everywhere. And then Sean and Jason used to play, and me and Mark Chin play everywhere. Shout out to Mark Chin, still one of the greatest selectors ever do it, man. And then Sean got me a job with his mom, who was a wedding planner, to set up weddings. So I would get paid $50, 50 US dollars. Well, I know. I would get paid $50 US to go at 6 a.m. and set up a wedding, like literally put together all the
chairs or whatever,
everything,
decor.
Tables, bring everything out of the warehouse, bring it over, bring out the sound, set it all up, stay there all day, then break it down.
And then collect your 50 US.
Play my 50 US and then go to a dance. Then go to a dance with Mark Chin or Copper Sean. Stay at that dance till 4 a.m. And then the next day, 6 a.m., wake up and go do this thing. And so I would kind of sleep on the grass at the weddings, or I would try to find a truck and see if I can sleep under the truck or sleep near the truck on the ground. Yeah, man.
Hustle, bro.
Yeah, bro. And yo, trust me when I tell you, man, I don't ever take any of those moments for granted, man. I never do. I never ever do.
That was part of the tenure.
That was part of the point thing. But yeah, man, but also I have to say big ups to Copper Sean for giving me a chance to earn some extra money and seeing a talent in me and being like, yo, you should get some money. Now I knew Sean Paul. I knew Sean Paul because he did a show in Miami with Baby Blue.
Yes.
So it was, no, sorry. I knew Sean Paul because of Jason, right? Sorry. I'm jumping ahead. But, sorry. I knew Sean Paul because of Master Lee.
Yeah. It was Lee that
Master Lee, because my family, Courtney them live in Mona, and Master Lee live in Mona. And Master Lee had a studio in Mona.
Yes.
And I was always just go there and hang out. So shout out to Code Red, Master Lee. And Sean Paul would go there and Vice him dub them. My very first just solo dubs, and the reason why my name is Walshy Fire is because of Sean Paul. If you know anything about me on the internet, on Dancehall Reggae and on Dancehall Minded, my name was LP Walsh.
Was LP Walsh.
Right. And he tried to do the dub saying LP Walsh and it just wouldn't flow. So he was like, yo, Walshy Fire. And that's where it started. And so a lot of people think Walshy Killer was first, but that's not true.
That was
Walshy Killer for a long time.
Because I always thought it was Killer first, and then you switched it to Fire.
No, I was Killer, and then Bobby Chin switched it. I was Fire, then Bobby Chin switched it to Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Or no, maybe it was like in Changes days, the Killer started. No, actually, when I was in Changes, I was known as Mad Professor.
Yeah.
And then I was known as LP and LP Walsh.
Yeah.
And then I think it came to Walshy Killer started around Bobby Chin because he used to always be mimicking Bounty Killer and say my name. And then it just stuck. But, oh man, Mad Professor. But what I was going to say was, I noticed that name sounded good and I just stuck with it. But I even have those dub plates still, you know. It was on the Pepper Seed rhythm.
Yeah.
It was Gun Speech, Man, I bust out them head again, and I bust it in. Yo, that song there. And it was a medley of all his early songs on the Pepper Seed rhythm. So Copper Sean, Copper Shot, those guys, man, shout out to them. But eventually my grandfather died and I was like, yo, well, I don't need to stay in Jamaica anymore. I'm gonna go back to Miami. And when I went back to Miami, me and Slaughter had already been best friends. We'd already been linking. We'd already been connecting all the time. I get to Miami. He has a show in Miami. We're just parring, regular, linking, helping whatever he needs help with. But I had been in Miami long enough now where I was like, man, I don't think Copper Shot should come to America. So that was the original plan, was to extend Copper Shot to have a Miami leg.
Yeah.
And I was against it because I said, man, I never liked the sound systems that had several all over the place.
So you rather one base and then you travel to wherever you're going to go play and then come back to the base.
Right. And shout out to all the sounds that do that. There is a business model to that. But I always felt like you lose the essence of the story of the sound. Yeah. You know, I want my sound to be from a place. I don't want Bass Odyssey to have a Bass Odyssey UK. I want Bass Odyssey to be from the country. I don't even want Bass Odyssey to have a Kingston Bass Odyssey, which they did have, as you know. They split in two. I just want Bass Odyssey to be from the country. So I was like, yo, Jamaica, I was like, Copper Shot needs to be from Jamaica. It can't be from Miami, bro. So anyways, I end up, me and Doggy Slaughter end up just being around each other enough to where it was like, yo, let's just play the sound. And Jester was always one of my best friends, still to this day, one of my best friends. And so we just all decided to do it. Well, I think we had gone to Trinidad Carnival that year. And we was all just staying at Slaughter's house that whole time. We was like, yo, let's do it. Yeah. And from that was it. And I did that for about 2 years, Doggy's Excalibur. And then that's when Black Chiney came around.
Okay, so then how did you get from Excalibur to now Black Chiney?
The Baby Blues night.
Okay.
All right, so this is a true story. And I'm going to tell this story all the while, and I've told this story to you before, but this is a story I'm going to tell to the people that's watching this right now. And I want my energy up, you know, when I tell this story. 'Cause I know the people that probably storied out right now. They're like, God, dog, another story. You know, some man can't lie, you know. Some man can't tell some lies.
Alternative truth or alternative facts.
Selective memory. Yeah, man, all of that. So sometimes I might be lying. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Anyway, I decided I'm in Miami, and I'm doing bad. I'm not doing great. There's other things happening in my family that I'm helping pay the bills for, and other things are moving and motioning, and I'm trying to take the little bit of money I have and partition it amongst these things that need help. And my good friend Roger B, big up Roger B, New Orleans legend, he says, yo, there's this party called Stages. It's the biggest party in Miami. You need to check this party out. Yo, you should go. We should go to this party. And I go, yeah, I don't have money for this party. The party probably costs like $40 to get in because it was all inclusive. You drink all you want, drink
That's
the whole
big
night.
money back then.
But back then, $40. I mean, right now, boy, $40 would have kind of killed me too. But anyway, I'm like, yo, I don't have $40 to go to this party. So me and Roger sit down and we say, yo, why don't we just, I've told you this story before, why don't we just go to the party with my records at 9 o'clock and play? And that's what I did. I go to this party at 9 p.m. No one is there. The sound man I string up, there's no infrastructure yet. And I just walk in with my boxes. Me and Roger B, I borrowed my mom's car. Me and Roger B walk in, and we just sit down. Them times I use Home Depot boxes to put my records in. And I just sit down. And I'm just like this, you know, and I have my Excalibur dubs and everything, but yo, I got my records. And I'm sitting there. So around 11 o'clock, the man say, yo, the song string up, you know, if you want to play some music. Because he's like, that's why you're here, right?
And I'm have records, so clearly.
Like, I look around, I'm like, I can play. So it was closer to like 10 o'clock. So from 10 o'clock, I start playing. Now here's where I win. Not only do I win already because I had the gall to do that, to step in at people dance and I don't know nobody and just be like, yo, I'm going to play. All of the other DJs thought they were stars. So nobody no reach early. I'm playing. Them time the early one was early one still. I play a studio one, you know, dog. I play early juggling. But now it's 12 o'clock. No DJs have arrived yet. We can't start juggle a little bit, you know. So start going on some early rhythm. Every single promoter, there was 3 promoters, Jamie, Gary, and Alex. Every single one of them come to me and go, yo, Bridget, yeah, man, but in their mind they go, man, who is this guy? In their mind they go, man, what a great team I have. My team is the best. Yo, bro, I'm talking about, brother, I'm literally looking at them, thump my fist and go, what a great team I have. My team is the best. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. But somebody on my team thought, yo, the man that might reach start time, we need somebody for early warm. What an awesome team I have. Go team. All 3 of them came up to me and all 3 of them looked to the stars right after thumping my fist and was like, what a team. And I said, yo, this is crazy. Then around 12:30, Renegade showed up, Black Chiney showed up. But by that time, the place had 3,000 people. So now I'm playing for a big crowd. And I had been playing as a solo selector for Excalibur for a while. So I got really good. I mean, no, I'm saying I got really, really good. So anyway, no, Bobby Chin was one of the first people there, as he always is. If you know anything about Bobby Chin reached the dance early. Him is not no little, pull up so that he reach early and watch the dance. And he saw me playing right after I finished playing, man. He was like, yo, man, who are you? Like, yo, I never seen you before. And I said, yeah, man, Walshy Fire and da-da-da. And he was like, yo, man, we need another selector, bro. And he was like, yo, when Dups gets here, I got to introduce you to him because we need another selector. Now, I knew Dups because Dups was selling remixes, not just to you, Muscle. He was selling remixes out his house in the ghetto in Homestead. And if anybody thought that Dups didn't live in the ghetto, you are wrong. Dups lived in the ghetto. And I would have to drive an hour south to South Miami to go get remixes from him to play on Excalibur Sound. So I knew Dups. Also, big up love to Dups, man. He never charged me for any of those remixes, which is crazy.
Okay.
Because I would be there sometimes waiting, and I would see him charge somebody like $100 per remix, and somebody leave there with like 6 remixes. And I would say to myself, damn, there's no way I can afford these remixes. Why did I drive down here? And then he would always look at me and be like, "No, man, you're good, man." I think he knew I'm from the same kind of place he's from, and I'm just trying. And he just always showed love, man.
Knows hustler.
Yeah, I'm a hustler.
Energy is energy connected.
And I'm sure he saw me out in the street selling tapes before, and he knew who I was. And so anyway, Dups pulls up, and Dups was like, "Yo, man, I heard you juggled Wicked. I didn't even know you. Like, I know you, but I never seen you play." And I was like, "Yeah, man." And Bobby was like, "Yo, I'd love for you to just, we have a dance this weekend. How do we get you? Like, and I need somebody to go." Sean Paul there. Sean Paul vouches for me. Sean Paul was like, "Yeah, man, I'm bridging this, man. Boom, man. Baby Blue. Somebody needs to do a documentary on Baby Blue, man." You and I talked about this in the group chat. And shout out to all the group chats. This is probably the only group chat I still talk in because it just gets exhausting and you don't really see too much new topics coming up. So I really have. Also, I'd have a lot more things going on. So it's like crazy. You know, I bought a farm. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
I bought a farm and I own a record. I own a vinyl bar shop called Dante's. And so I'm there a lot. So, you know, you and I are in a group chat with some dope music guys, and the group chat doesn't have much talking, but when it does, it's always good. And I think we had this conversation. But bro, when I tell you, Baby Blue locked that place that night. All I can say again is somebody got to do a documentary on Baby Blue.
Buddy, they were the first boy band, but DJs coming out of Canada.
They were the biggest things. And they had Sean Paul. Yo, bro, Kid Cut, the rest of the crew. I forgot the other guy's name. KL, yeah. Man, what a time. And I don't know why that thing messed up, but what a time you guys had. What a run. Because I've not seen anybody do it since.
They were a boy band, but they didn't sing anything. They were DJs. But it was like when you looked at their pictures, it's 4 of them all dressed together as a boy band that DJ'd. Right. They did not sing.
And the way Kid Cut stepped out on the stage that night, he was a star. He's a star. Still one of the best MCs. But that night, that was a star. And you never really saw star performances like that from a DJ in the dancehall world at that time. You never really saw somebody step out like Bounty Killer and not sing a song. The way he stepped out was not like a casual. Yeah, it wasn't no casual step out. It was a step. And the man deal with the place wicked. Baby Blue, we'd love to get a documentary on what the hell happened. I know people know, but I'd like to hear it from y'all. So that night, I'm driving home and I'm like, I can't believe this happened. And Roger's like, "Yo, you're about to play Black Chiney," because Black Chiney was definitely like a up and coming big sound at the time. And I was like, I don't know what the hell just happened. But he told me to link him up he had an office. Bobby Chin had an office where he used to burn CDs. He was like, "Yo, link him up at the office." So the next day I drove to Fort Lauderdale and that was it. And then I met Dups, I think a couple of days later. We all sat down. They was like, "Yo, we're just going to give you like a handful of dubs." Yeah. Right? Because he still had to press
because it was still physical.
Still physical vinyl. He said, but we also have a laptop and this thing called Final Scratch. So you can borrow this Sony Vaio and use this Final Scratch. But I want y'all to know, y'all are not going to believe where this dance was. Yeah. Are you ready to know where this dance was?
Where is this dance?
Where was this dance?
Where was it?
Where was this dance? If anybody knows anything about Canada, you know that there's a certain city with a certain hall that has been notorious. Montreal, Tiffany's Hall.
That was the first one.
That was my first dance with Black Chiney ever. Shout out to Nighthawk International. Shout out to, was it Renegade or Rebel? I can't remember the name of the sound over there. I think it was Renegade. Begin with an R, I can't remember. Shout out to Little Thunder. Bro, they were patient, man. That's all I could say, is they showed patience. I reached the dance early just to try to figure out how to hook this final scratch up.
Yes, that was when the thing was giving you guys a lot of problems. You guys
Bro.
were so advanced, but it was giving problems to get it together.
But you're the judgment. The sound man was the biggest problem, the engineer. He never seen it before in his life. And he said, no way are you unplugging anything to plug in this little blood clot laptop. What is?
On a song?
I remember them time they know if y'all bring laptop, man feel like they cheated you. You cheated them. Like laptop. Yo, brother, I paid good money for Black Chiney. What the hell is this? First of all, I paid good money for Black Chiney. Who the hell are you?
So it was, you were alone?
Me alone. The man set me up there for dead.
Bruh.
The man set me up there for dead, you know.
Listen, they know the wickedness of Canada already. That's why at one
man.
point
That's
they
why
didn't
they never
wanna come
want to
back.
go.
Yes, bro.
No, let me talk the
just
truth now.
Let's send him.
Like I said, some man tell lie. You know? So what I'm saying might be a lie.
No, but it's not.
But maybe it's not. But we'll never know. Because I'm a sound man. We'll never know. Right up. The man them sent me up there for dead. Bobby, I love you to death, man. Man them, Dups hated Canada dates. Why? Because every sound in Canada want to kill Black Chiney.
Boss.
And that night was no different. Again, shout out to Little Thunder and Nighthawk, because they were the promoters of the dance. So them was a asset. But there was a couple other sounds on the dance, and I can't remember them under name. And I want to say it was like, it begins with an R. Oh, man. All I remember is that, Big War. Anyway, I couldn't figure out how to get this thing stringed up. I never did it before in my life. Thank God I brought all my records.
Yeah.
But I only had a handful of dubs. But I had practiced extremely hard those last couple of days. And so I said, we're just going to use the record. Brother, I tore that place up. Because I had been tearing places up, I had become a good DJ.
Yeah. So now you're just putting what you learned somewhere else on top of that time,
Right. I probably had more Excalibur dubs than the Black Chiney dubs.
Yeah.
So if I was really going to go into a war, I'd have been like, damn. I'd have been like, yo, people, you don't say tonight, me now play Black Chiney. Excalibur this.
Yeah.
Cause Excalibur had a whole heap of tune at the time.
Man.
But let me tell you something, man. What a joy that night was, because I made friends for life. I talked to Nighthawk last night. He played in Ajax.
Okay.
With Black Reaction. Another good friend of mine, Black Reaction sound. Black's big up. But they're almost, the way I never sweat so much in my life, man. I never worried so much in my life. The sound man was like, you're not string up that. Yeah. There's something in my lap, in a machine.
And a Black Chiney.
And I also didn't know what I was doing, so me not in the confidence really say, no man, just put this and everything all right. I was like, hold up, let me figure this shit out. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, guys. Am I fooling anyone? Is anyone fooled? No, nobody. Yeah, my friends for life, man. Nighthawk International, Mr. Who, big up.
So where was Thing at this time here? Where was Willie?
Willie was a kid, man. Willie's much younger than us.
Yes.
Willie was still in high school. Remember now, Willie's name's not Willie,
Yes.
I mean, none of their names are Chin.
Yeah.
Right? But Willie was a fat kid. And that's how he got the name
Free Willie.
And
Willie
then he
turned to Willie Chin.
Yeah, he got the name from being made fun of as a whale. And so he became Willie Chin after that. So I would just see him at Dups' house, but he was just this fat kid walking around. He never really played nothing. He had nothing to do with sound. So it was me going on shows by myself, because I was already playing by myself. And Dups and Bobby would play somewhere. And then Renegade, the Miami Renegade, he played Black Chiney for like a while. But yeah, I played, and then also, people were just getting used to Chip Lee.
Yes, I forgot about
Chip Lee was becoming the man on the sound. Probably one of the most talented, if not the most talented selector to ever be from Miami.
Chip Lee.
Chip Lee. What a talent, bro. So when Chip Lee, I played the song, now people them start like really follow Chip Lee. And now here I come. Who the hell is this guy? Is he even Chinese? This little light-skinned motherfucker. So it was just like, be a war. But every war was needed.
To set
because
you
that's
up.
the only way I was going to be better and better and better and better. And yeah, man, enough shows that made no sense. Enough shows that you just like, yo, this don't make no sense. Enough shows got shot up. Enough people dead right in front of you. Enough promoters that don't know what the hell they doing and bad business promoters. You know, that era of dancehall or that side of the business, I went through all of that. That everybody I do think went through. I definitely did, but probably more than most. You know what I'm saying? Especially throughout Canada, man. Some really rough dances in Canada.
I know for a fact. Listen, Dups said factually, they do not want to come back.
Yeah, man, them man don't like Canada, none at all.
They do not want to come back.
Which ended up making Chip Lee lock Canada, which ended up making me lock Canada. I was then the poster boy for Canada. I was then the person that if Bobby or Dups was going to do a dance in Canada, they'd say, no. Walshy. We need Walshy Killer. And I ended up being extremely popular in Canada, bro. Extremely. And then at that time, Black Chiney on a whole became extremely popular, fully loaded on bagga this and bagga that. And the shows were just going crazy. And our dub box was crazy. And the remixes was crazy. So when I step into a dance, it was shellings every single time. And then if it was War at the End, it was War at the End as well.
Anything.
Yeah, man. Everything and everything, you know.
So then when Willie started to really roll, you were his partner when he started to roll out?
Yeah, man. Then it was like, yo, Walshy, make Willie forward a couple dance studio. And we started to do Europe. And we had the same manager as David Radigan, Ricky. And boy, oh boy, Willie learned fast, man, because I was not playing around. I was like, yo, our reputation is on the line. And especially like in the Canada shows, I was like, yo, these promoters, they don't play that, man. Them no want no excuse for why you flop. So I said, Willie, we got to practice and we got to play at a high level. And I used to really like deal with Willie like aggressively because I could not take no L's. But Willie really stepped up and became like just the best, man, just the best.
And you guys became that dynamic duo as basically the younger you them than Bobby and Dups on the sound that's shelling down.
Yeah, man, exactly. And then Europe and Canada was ours. And that was cool because Bobby and Dups didn't really want to travel to these places, especially Europe, where it was like Germany. You're in these little towns in Germany, but for some reason, dance hall is the biggest thing, and the club has 2,000 people in it, and it's me, and some sound with some weird name because you know them man they have some weird names on them. So, on me and Willie, I deal with it. Them time that we had remixes on the Nirvana.
Yes.
Come on, everybody, this is fire time. Blazing these fire heavy. I can't believe Capleton even sang a song like that. Now that I think back on it, but yeah, man, slang term rhythm was a big deal in Europe. As soon as they hear the boom 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 boom, cha 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 boom 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 boom, forward.
Yeah,
and that's why I started playing instrumentals at parties. Like to this day, I still play an instrumental.
Okay.
Because I understand certain rhythms the instrumental is just that powerful.
It just has that thing to it.
Yeah, man. And the instrumental alone will get forward every time. So all the selectors out there, if you'd like to steal that, anger management, always. Just play the instrumental. Slang ting, always. Just play the instrumental. You're going to get it forward. Sometimes put on the rhythm. You know, like there's certain rhythms, man, where you just play the instrumental and with the right speech. And you just get a forward for the instrumental. And that was the thing that I learned with Willie Chin out in Europe, man. It's just the instrumentals were almost equally as important as a song. While over in the Caribbean side, the instrumental bad, but when the song drop, you're like, yo, forward. Over there, rhythm was forward.
Okay.
Slang ting rhythm, the place start go mad.
As soon as the rhythm
drop. And then you just pull up that, and then maybe you play the song after, you play it again. Rhythm, mud.
So when did they decide to, okay, you and Willie's out here, Dups and Bobby's out here. When did they decide to switch it so that now you and Dups is going on the road?
No, sorry. Me and Dups was on the road first.
You guys were on the road
Me and Dups was on the road first. Willie and Bobby was on the road because Willie was new. Sorry. Me and Willie really started to collaborate when Dups took himself off the road.
When he started.
But it was me and Dups. I don't even remember how much me and Dups used to shell place, you know.
Yeah.
But it was me and Dups traveling Europe, Canada, America, me and Dups. Caribbean, me and Dups. Me and Dups had like a 5-year run with just me and Dups.
That's how
And
long
Bobby,
you guys
yeah,
ran?
man. And Bobby was, I played Black Chiney for 12 years, man.
That's how long you played
Yeah,
the song,
man.
boss?
12 years, bro. 12 years. And you can stay, I still play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12
I
years.
know, to me, that song is like imprinted on your soul.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Always, man, for life. And I've been with Major Lazer for 12 years. So right now I'd be 24 years with Black Chiney.
Yeah.
How you like that?
That's
How crazy is that?
That's wild. To even think Black China
Has been around for that long. That's crazy.
Bro. So at this time, were you getting into production when you're around Black China, or you're just soaking it in to really understand what's going on?
Yeah, man, that part there. I got a program called Acid, right? And so big up to Just Bus from Antigua, great friend of mine.
Boom.
He's one of the real people. Dollar Sham from Barbados, also another person in Miami, and Dups. They were the first ones that were like, well, Dups gave me my first laptop. And then Just Bus and them were the ones to put Acid on there and SoundForge. And those were the two programs that I saw Dups making his remixes with. SoundForge is where you could take an acapella off of a song. So you had this thing where you invert and you
Is this where, hold on. You see, because he called me out first, now I'm going to give it back to you.
did you hear anything?
Huh?
Did you hear anything?
It doesn't matter. But
You saw how smooth
no, you know
that
what?
was?
As a matter of fact, I did hear something. That's how I knew
You
something
said it.
happened. But what I'm going to give you, I'm the host of the show. So
You
I
were
should
supposed to know
better.
while ago.
All right, okay. All right.
So shout out to everybody that used Acid, man. If you used Acid, you're probably good at Ableton because it's a similar energy. But Acid, man. And I started to create mixes and started to really be good at producing on Acid. So shout out to Just Bus again in Dollar Sham. We used to sit in Dollar Sham's house all day long and make beats and make remixes on Acid. And so Acid is the program where it really started. Acid's gone. But yeah, man, being around those guys, Dups, Just Bus, and Dollar Sham is where I started to produce.
But were you doing more remixes or you wanted to produce a beat?
Remixes was what it was, man. Remixes was where it was at. Who could make the wickedest remix? Creating a beat was not something I was thinking about.
That wasn't in your zone.
No.
Did you make any of the Black China remixes, or it was more inspiration? I know Dups was making the most of them at that time.
Yeah, man, no. Dups and Willie, though. Like Willie, for sure.
For sure.
Did I sit while they're making them? Yes. But, that was their thing. I was on the streets. I do road. Me and Bobby do road. Them man, they do remix.
Yeah.
And they were really good at it. So if I'm only like half good at it, why am I even, but I'll come up with ideas. We all would come up with ideas. Bobby was actually like the king of ideas. Bobby was really funny. He's really funny and really intelligent. So when it comes to foolishness, yeah, man.
Bobby.
Yeah, man, Bobby. But Willie and Dups also really good at that stuff, man.
Where would you say it had been the craziest place that Black Chiney took you at that time, where you, coming from Carol City, could not imagine yourself
Man,
playing
so
music
many,
in this
bro.
place here?
So many. Shout out to Warrior Sound, Wuppertal, U Club. Still. Shout out to Calibandulu Sound, Italy, Salento, Brindisi, Lecce. Still. Shout out to Slinger Sound from Guyana in Virgin, Nugent, and the whole west side of Guyana, man. What a show. What a tornado storm we kicked up as Black Chiney in Guyana, bro. That video's on YouTube too, Black Chiney Guyana. Look at that video, man. Every song, every single song, it was like an eruption.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, just to name a few. Just to name a few.
Did you end up like in like a Russia, Japan, or any of those stuff at that time there?
Japan for sure, many times. And shout out to everybody in Japan. Shout out to Gachapan. Shout out to Captain C. Shout out to Bad
They were
Gal
playing Mikey Crown for a bit.
yeah. And then he went solo. Shout out to Bad Gal Marie. Everybody that I've done shows
Notorious.
with in Japan. And of course, yeah, man, Russia, no. No, I never did a show in Black China with Black China in Russia, no.
Yeah. So you got these crazy places there.
But like Austria and like everywhere,
Yeah.
yeah, man, Black China. Like,
And what was that feeling like, again, seeing it with your own eyes and not even believing that this is possible, that these people even
Yeah, man.
listen to what
I'm really
I do?
glad you said that, man, because again, I think you're wrapping the whole conversation up in a nice bow right now by saying, yo, remember that little guy? Remember that young kid? Remember that kid in Carol City? Remember that kid in Carol City who thought Carol City was the end of life? That was it.
That's the beginning and the end.
Yeah, that life ended on County Line Road and 163rd Street, 57th Avenue, and 7th Avenue, and that was life. How do you tell that kid, right? How do you explain to that kid that there's a world outside of this world that he's in? It was very difficult at the time for sure. But yeah, man, there I am, at Paradiso Club with DJ Waxfiend in Amsterdam.
What am I doing?
With 10,000 people in Holland, and every song is a big forward. And many nights I've sat backstage or got back to my hotel and been like, I'm so appreciative and so blessed and so glad to have been able to have dodged so many potholes that life really puts in front of a lot of people that, to no fault of theirs, they weren't able to dodge. And again, with some of my family members being addicted to crack cocaine and everything that happened in the 80s and, and some stuff that, I don't even want to say, stuff that's just insane that I've seen and done myself. I look back at my life and I see how much it easily could have gone in a wrong direction.
In a blink of an eye.
In a blink of an eye. In a blink of an eye, man. When I tell you from, somebody, at the club being shot dead right next to me and me like, a bullet didn't hit me, to making bad decisions myself. A blink of an eye, it could be all gone. And I'm so grateful and so thankful that for a reason that maybe one day when I'm dead, I'll know as to why. But
why me?
Why me, right? But for sure, I never took that for granted. And therefore, when I got into something, I got into it and I took it serious. And I said, I'm going to make the best out of this opportunity because why me? I'm here. So, okay, if the universe feels like I deserve to be here, I'm not going to disappoint. And so, and that's, you get into Major Lazer with the same thing, where I just take it serious.
So what was the transition like now from Black Chiney, which is, they're not really a hardcore dancehall song, but it's based in dancehall, to now Major Lazer, which I don't think was based in that. It was more based in EDM?
Yeah, man, it still is. But the roots of it are in Caribbean music, So the roots of Major Lazer are sampling Caribbean sounds and then, making them into EDM versions. But shout out to Scarrett Boy, man. Always going to be Scarrett Boy.
Yes,
Scarrett Boy. That story always starts with Scarrett Boy. I was doing dances in Miami and I would book Scarrett Boy, and Scarrett Boy would come down from the Bronx with the big muscle suits and be daggering the girls at the party and stuff like that. Bro. My boy, man. He's a big pastor now, man. Shout out to Pastor.
He was the original wild guy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
And so he turned Christian. I met Diplo through Scarrett Boy. They did a show in Miami called the Bob Marley Festival. And they flopped bad. It sucked, right? It just didn't make sense, actually. It was like a Bob Marley show. And there's Scarrett Boy with a ladder trying to jump on a girl. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so I met West Diplo at that time, and he was a big Black Chiney fan. That's why we linked, because he was buying records from Dups as well. He was also getting white label records from Dups and remixes. And so we became friends, and Scarrett Boy turned Christian like shortly after. And he was like, yo, man, I need another MC. Scarrett had really spoke about you. Also, Jillionaire was a part of Black Chiney. I'm sorry, of Major Lazer.
Oh, bro, you are.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Misspoke.
Yeah.
Or maybe, because, someone man tell a lie.
Yeah. You know what? I think this is what I'm going to name this podcast,
Someone man tell a lie, brother. So, yeah, my Jillionaire was already a part of Major Lazer. A lot of people don't know that. He was there before me.
So it was Jillionaire, Diplo, and Scarrett. That was what made up the three.
And Switch. It was four of them.
It was four of them?
It was four of them.
Okay.
Switch was the first one to leave. I think the guy from Rockers replaced him, and then he left, and then Jillionaire joined, and then Jillionaire left, and then Scarrett joined, and then Scarrett left, and Jillionaire went back. And then Jillionaire left, but before he left, he kept saying, yo, you should get Walsh to do this. And Scarrett Boy was also like, yo, you should get Walsh to do it. But Jillionaire, Chris, he was really the one that was like, yo, I got some other stuff going on, but Walsh should be your guy. Because Jillionaire is from dancehallminded.com.
He's from there too.
His name on Dancehall Minded was Monster Lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. One of the smartest guys ever. But Jillionaire is an OG from dancehallminded.com. And so, yeah, man. So, you know, thankfully he was able to find me because, you know, there's no real social media at that time. And he's like, yo, I got a show in San Francisco like tomorrow, man. Same thing like Bobby Shinem.
You always
It's always like, yo, I got a show tomorrow. And I'm like, yo, prepare.
Do it.
Yo, somebody just sent me the video of that show today.
Yeah.
Not even a joke. Yo, no. I'm about to show it to you right now. People who can't see it. But I'm going to
see it because you're going to send it to
I'm
me.
going to send it.
I'm going to put it in the podcast.
Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Look at this shit, bro.
That's me right there with the white hat. I got on all polo. Let me say that again. I had on all polo. I had on the polo vest jacket. I had on the polo flag sweater. I had the polo jeans. And I had the polo cookie boot. Yeah, you saw the kid just jump into the crowd.
This
is the first show I ever did with Major Lazer. And a girl sent me this and was like, yo, I got this video and I don't know if you can use it, but yo. And I was like, yo, man, can you please like figure out a way to send this to me?
Yeah.
Anyway, bro, when I tell you, this night, I never seen so much white people before. And you know, I don't know white people. I never knew white people. White people didn't exist in my world.
From you're in the heart of the hood,
bro. Miami, Atlanta's black,
bro.
And then after that, Jamaica. It's like, where am I see a white person at? Yeah. I don't know no white people, bro. Wes was definitely the first white person I knew and was cool with.
How was it that change to make that change from doing the Black Chiney style now to a hard change to Major Lazer?
So imagine what you just saw. Imagine a dance hall crowd. Select after work, select after work, select after work, get them forward, get them forward, get them forward. What did you just see? Absolute madness.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Nothing. Bro, it was like this to this. I was like, this is easy. I was like, yo, with Black Chiney, yo, brother,
you better have speech.
Brother, you better have talent, brother. Shout out to every dancehall selector. You need to have talent.
So
you got to entertain. So I brought that to them. And at times when they would calm down and be able to listen, I would bring that entertainment to them. And then the whole thing just became like a level up.
But how would you even MC a show on a Major Lazer opposed to a Black Chiney? Or is that something you had to figure out after a while?
I have to figure it out. But in that show, I kind of figured it out. But yeah, man, it takes a little while. You have to understand when are they going to be calm enough to hear something. And they also are not used to an MC at all.
Because they're barely used to lyrics. Much as an MC.
Yeah, man. Them just want wee. So now me and Wes are working on this routine where I can say level. And when he lowers it, I can stand there and hear a pin drop with just some commanding energy that I would bring over from the dancehall world. We know how to command a crowd. And then I would say, yo, here's my speech. And I can hear the rhythm in the background, 4 bars, 8 bars. I'm making my speech. I hear it coming back up. He knows when to bring it back up, or I would say, yo, up. And it would connect. And you could see their mind going, hold on. What he just said landed perfectly with what that record just said. And that whole thing just made sense. Whoa. Did you see that? And it was mind-blowing. And you could see them in the crowd like, whoa, smoke out the ears, you know, where it's just like, yo, that was dope. What the hell was that? And then I'll be like, that's dancehall. That's sound system culture. And so I started to really, I believe, hopefully teach mad people about dancehall's sound system culture and how talented the sound system people are, you know.
Because that's one thing I've always noticed with you. It doesn't matter what room you're in, what situation where you're playing. Even if it's something as small as your shoes, you'd be wearing Clarks. You always try to bring your blackness with you.
Which is why I feel like I'm getting old, as you can see the shoes I'm wearing right now. I think I stopped caring about fashion and all that stuff. These are hiking shoes, guys. These are just like, I actually like to hike now. Yeah. And so, like, yeah, man, I still have my Clarks. But yeah, I started to bring that style, the mesh merino, Clarks, dressing, and the attitude to a bunch of people that never saw it. I'd be in interviews just being overly Jamaican sometimes, you know, the whole thing. But that's when I always knew. I already knew that dancehall culture was only the extremely talented got recognition and got to a level. I also, because I worked at Beat Street Records in Brooklyn for a long time. Shout out to Trax, another best friend of mine.
The Beat Street downstairs?
The one downstairs, yeah. I worked at that Beat Street, man. I worked in the reggae room right after Shortman.
Yeah.
Shortman quit, and they hired me. And shout out to Culture.
What was that song again? No.
I can't remember what Shortman. He's known as DJ Shortman now, but he did play a song. And shout out to DJ Culture.
Hypnotic.
Maybe. DJ Culture, Goldfinger, DJ June. All of them were there. DJ Culture is the one that got me the job. My best friend at the time, Dagger, rest in peace. He's the one that talked to Culture to get me the job. That's a big story. I always tell that story, but it's very important. I won't tell it here, but you can see it in other interviews. Big story of how Dagger got me that job. But again, rest in peace, Dagger, man. Love you to death, brother. I'm living at Dagger's house, sleeping on his floor, and I get this job at Beat Street Records, and at Beat Street Records is where I really learned music. Like, just to go back to the love for music. This is where I learned hip-hop.
So remember, you have jazz under your... Okay,
right, jazz.
Foundation. Reggae dancehall,
yeah, man.
You have in your pocket.
Yeah, I'm in my pocket.
Now, jazz, I got under my belt.
Easy.
You know what I mean? Hip-hop has always been a part of your life, but now in the record shop, I now have that in my pocket.
Because I didn't have the mecca of hip-hop understandings. I knew Miami hip-hop. I knew Miami bass. I knew booty shake music. And I know when I got to Atlanta, when I got to Atlanta, they had their own scene. And I knew that very well. And then I got into the DC, Chicago, I got into their scenes. But the New York friends I had, they were all divided amongst themselves. And so when I got to Brooklyn and stayed in Brooklyn and I got to work at Beat Street Records, I got that, I want to thank you, Heavenly Father. I got that side of music, you know, and the alias, follow me, yeah. And
now this makes sense to me.
Oh man, when I tell you that record shop, brother, yo, I just remember in that record shop listening to Black Star all day long, Mos Def and Talib Kweli, a record that I would have never listened to.
Cause that was backpack.
That was backpack hip hop. I would have never listened to that. And there I am looking at Raucous Records and going, everything they make is fire. You know, and listening to Mos Def, I'm leaving on a jet plane, Traveling Man. And I'm just like, yo, this is fire. I would have never gave this a chance. You know, because I'm down south with the 504 boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm no limit soldier. I thought I told you. I'm there.
Extent.
So New York, and I went to my first party ever with Dagger and Culture DJ. I just remember folding my arms and being like, I don't know a single song. And every song was tearing the place up. And then I got the job at Beat Street right after. But I say all that to say, the music, the love for music in all of its genres, even white people music, really, I think, it meets a center point at Beat Street Records.
And that's why when you were saying Beat Street, everything made total sense, because I'm still trying to figure out how you could be in a Black Chiney one night and Major Lazer the next and still feel relatively comfortable.
And be killing both of them.
You know what I mean? And that's where I was trying to figure. But you see, the Beat Street is the nucleus that held it.
It's the nucleus that gave me every genre. I'm there all day, every day for a long time.
Yeah.
And me just a got your record. The shop's empty. Me I got your record. Listening to Ron G, SNS,
DJ
Clue, Doo-Wop, I'm listening to all the tapes and all the freestyles.
Yeah.
It's like I'm deep diving into records at that point. Which is why I own a record shop, Vinyl Dante's Bar. You guys should check it out in Wynwood. Definitely top team. So when I get to Major Lazer, the last, I think, piece to the puzzle was like white people house and because, house music is a black thing to me. I didn't understand white people house. I just knew black house. Gypsy, what's her name? Show Me Love and, songs
Follow
like that.
Me and those songs there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Black house music. I knew that. Percolator. Like I knew that. So now I'm getting into this little bit of dubstep, little bit of like just all of the genres that were in that EDM world. And that was the last piece of the puzzle. And that's when I get that with Major Lazer. And I brought everything I knew to that. And we did really well, man. We did really well.
That's where everything started. So then now you're at Major Lazer. What was the first production you guys started to work on over there when you got there?
When I got there was already songs out. Pon the Floor was already out. Pon the Floor, I think, was it. It was Pon the Floor was huge, though. Original Don. Yeah, man, there was a few songs out already. Because Switch was a producer, Diplo was a producer. So they had songs already. If you look at the Pon the Floor video, Scared Boy's in it.
He's in it.
Scared Boy's he's it. He's the video with the ladder. And our first dancer was from DC. I forgot her name, Missy, I think. But yeah, man, they had songs already. When I got there, Lean On is in the works. Boomaye is in the works. If you look at the Boomaye video, you'll see me in it.
And this was early when you got there. That was when those songs started to come out.
Yeah, man. But they were already starting to be worked on, right? So I'm there in the process of those songs. Get Free. I'm in the video for that. Like I'm in the process of these videos and these songs. But that's when I missed Pon the Floor and a couple of songs before me.
Who was on Pon the Floor again?
Vybz Kartel, bro.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yes. And then that's how the Boomaye with the busy signal started to come about.
Right.
Because this is now the real melting pot of the cultures.
Right.
You understand the EDM, the dance hall, but as you said already, Major Lazer they took certain elements of black music and put it into the music already.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it made sense.
Yeah, man. And shout out to all the people that have helped Major Lazer get to the greatness that it is at. Because that's been like a whirlwind, man. I can't believe it sometimes.
Boss, listen, when I started, I said you were at Super Bowl, at Grammys. I've seen you in Barcelona, seen you in Spain, seen you at the French Alps, and I'm talking all of this within months, not years, boss.
Yeah, man.
Months, probably even weeks.
Yeah, man.
How do you process something? Has there ever been a point in your career where you almost lost yourself and then you had to bring back yourself and say, oh, hold on here? Where you almost started to, for lack of better terms, feel yourself like, I'm me.
Never once, man. Never once, man.
So
Never once. And
what kept you so grounded then?
I don't know, man. It's just I think when you meet somebody, like you just know yourself. Yeah, man. Never once, bro. Never once has somebody called my phone and said, "Boy, why should not answer my phone?" My phone number ain't never changed. Never once has somebody ever seen me try to do something stupid. I'm not saying I've never made mistakes, but I am saying if I do make a mistake, I work hard on trying to repair that.
Yeah.
Why? Because everybody matters. So if I make a mistake, I ain't gonna text you, bro. I'm gonna call you.
That's the school that we come from.
I come from that school. That's another thing I want to say, just to be honest with you. I grew up when there was a code. And I've stayed on code. I've never done anything off code. I'm not online trying to be somebody that chases clout or I don't ever we talked about it earlier, I don't ever put my opinion online ever. Right? because I'm on code. And on code to me says, nah, man,
certain things go out
yo,
there, certain
this
things
isn't
don't.
real. And I know it's not real. And so therefore, you're never going to know my personal life. You're never going to know who's around me. Most of the time I post something and I'm not even there. I'll post something a week after and be like, yo, New York, that was fun. I'm not in New York.
No, you're way gone.
Long gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody taught me a long time ago, man, just really like stay low and just keep firing. You know what I'm saying? Don't just stand up and just be like, that. Like get really like, yo, just keep firing. And so I stayed quiet. And that's when, you know, there's lots of noise and I have an opinion on something and I could easily jump up and give my opinion. The most I might do is get on like a comment section of a post that I think is very relative and have a discussion with somebody. But even then, I'll look at a post and be like, nah, let me not even say nothing. You know what I'm saying? But as long as it's calm, if it's calm, you know, if it's calm, I'll say something.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yo, why is everybody tripping right now?
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, I've watched enough people make mistakes and I've watched other people, you know, not understand how to move, and that not understanding how to move, it really can hurt them. And I have the same friends I've always had. That's never changed. I have no enemies, zero. I don't have a single person. Honestly, I don't have a single person out there that I don't like. There's not one. I don't think there's anybody out there that don't like me. It's human nature, so I can't. But who cares? I've never cared about somebody that didn't like me.
So you don't go out of your way to go and try to find the problems. If, again, being a normal person in entertainment, if something comes your way, I'm pretty sure you try your best to either try to fix it, avoid it, or try to deal with it before it gets to any situation it shouldn't be.
Yes, correct. Because I understand time and money. And I understand that if a situation is going to cost us time or cost us money, I think both of us would be better off not wasting that time or that money. And so therefore, most of the time, you ever fight somebody and get up in your friends? I've had that happen to me tons of times.
That's how most best friends.
Yo, me and somebody could engage in an actual fist. You know what I'm saying? Real fist. I'm not talking about as kids either. I'm talking about as adults. Where you and somebody could knock the shit out of each other. And there's a respect in that. There's a respect in being like, yo, you didn't pull out no stick. You didn't pull out no bat.
It was just hope.
You stayed on code and we did this. And so I think most people respect this. And so if I got a situation, I got no problem doing this. But if I think we're going to escalate it, maybe that's the time and energy and money waster. That respect won't come on after that. There's no respect if now we go and hit each other with bottles and stab each other. There's not a respect that comes after that.
Yeah, you're going to fight, you're going to disagree, but then you took it to another level altogether.
And so let's just not do that. And 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, usually a conversation, bro. A conversation gets everybody to be like, you know how much people think they don't like me? Then they meet me or we talk and they like, John no star, you know what I'm saying? Walshy, you know what I'm saying? I never like him, but John no star, he was just cool. And it's not even like I'm trying to be cool. I'm just me. But I think I understand that there's a better, we can all win and I can help everybody. I actually love to help people. I love anybody that asks me for help. I always help.
I could see that because I see you deal with so much different type of music and production and stuff. I could see clearly there's something in it. I see you with the Afro beats, see you with the dance hall, see you with soca, see you with EDM. It's like you're almost, for the longest time, I was asking myself, yo, what does Walshy really do? What does this guy do? I see what you do. I have an understanding, but what do you really do?
Yeah, so I think that's a part of just, again, there's no reason for you to have more information than you need. You know, I'm a seller and you're a buyer. So do you like the product or not? You know,
And if you don't like this one, have
I got
this one
another
too.
product. Now, if you want to be an investor, we can talk. But if you're not going to be an investor, then why am I giving you too much information? And that goes with everything in life.
Yeah.
And again, that to me is just being on code. You know, I don't ever post my political views, my religious views. Like I don't do stuff like that because I don't think, to me, again, y'all do what y'all want to do. But to me, I'm not from that era of let me tell everybody my opinions. I'm from the era of let me stay more in the dark and mysterious, and you got to really guess what I'm up to. Let me not show you all my moves. You know, so I keep my cards to the chest, and then I just go, yo, this is what I've been working on. Do you want to buy that? You know, I'm selling this now. Do you want to participate? Yeah, man. Do you want to participate in what I'm doing or not? If you don't worry. I got something. Eventually, I got something that you're going to want to participate in. And that's just, to me, good business. And again, no disrespect to anybody out there that's doing whatever they want to do online. Do what you want to do.
You do it.
But I think that's good business, and that's what I learned from the people before me. You know, and yeah, man, shout out to those people. Shout out to the Buttafuoco's, to the Jamies, to the so many people I could name, and I watch how they do it. And you don't know them, or you know very little about them.
You hear the name, but that is it. You hear the name and what they may be or may not be attached to.
Right.
That's it. You don't even see a face more time.
Enough time them dead, you know, and you just don't see them. And so when I think about all the things that I could do with the knowledge that I've learned, like I could start a podcast, I could do all kinds of things. But for me personally, at least right now, if I were to do a podcast, if it wasn't about music, I don't think I would do it.
Because that's the, for a lack of better terms, the character that's presented.
Correct.
And you stay within whatever this character right here. I don't go outside of the zone.
Nah. So if you want to know Leighton, you want to know Leighton Paul, you gotta really find me and link me. And you'll know him. I got no problem with it. But you gotta link me. But what y'all are gonna get is Walshy Fire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Walshy Fire is a businessman working on things. And again, to answer the original question of have I ever lost myself or felt away? No. And that's because, one, I'm surrounded by people who genuinely would never let that happen. And when I tell you, I got some of the best friends in the world. Also some great sound men, sound women that are just surrounding me. That might be the first one to pull out, to tell me I made a mistake. But they'll tell me in confidence. They won't go on the internet.
Pull you one side or say,
yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Big man thing.
Big man thing. They're going to be like, yo, brother, here what I go on now. And again, any mistake I've ever made, anything that I felt or somebody brought to me and was like, yo, you shouldn't have done it that way, I got on the phone with them. There was a time when, and you know, hopefully you'll interview Steelie Bashment, man. Me and Steelie Bashment had a big beef one time. And it's crazy to think about it now.
As adults in your position at this time?
Man. Yeah, man. And it's crazy to think about it now because Steelie is one of the greatest friends I have. But when I look back at that little bit of a moment and I see how it was going and everybody on my side was in my ear saying, yo, you know, yeah, man. And I'm sure he had some people on his side also saying, yo, let's escalate this. And then there was the voice of reasoning, Buttafuoco. You know what I'm saying? I said, yo, you guys are going to waste time and energy with this problem. We're going to get on the phone. And all three of us got on the phone, and like that, I mean, literally one conversation, the whole misunderstanding was over. And then he invited me to, he had a pirate radio station in Brooklyn called
Yes, I know.
Sorry, guys. Like I said, boy, the name them out.
It used to come on the internet too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I know what you're talking about.
Wagwan Radio, I think was it called. Yeah, man, Wagwan Radio.
Yes, bro.
So he invited me to the radio station. And a little bit, I was like, yo, if I go to Brooklyn, in our fee place.
Still your piece,
Yo, I'm like, yeah, man, let me watch Wagwan. Man. I say, you know what, though? This is a true olive branch. This is a real, yo, let me show you how we're good, man. Just come check me out at the radio station. I'll juggle some song and we'll sit on our reason. And I got to the radio station, it was all love. And we juggled music. We had one of the best radio shows ever. And then we sat down for a couple hours talking, and you realize like any and everything has a, I mean, obviously, unless it's just like a real, you know, but most, like I said, 9 out of 10, a conversation usually will get everybody back on code, as I would say.
A grievance that one person wants to voice that the other one isn't hearing. That's usually where a lot of the problems start. Or there would be I said something and you interpreted it the wrong way. So
bro, that's it most of the time, you know. Yeah, man, that's it most of the time, you know. And I want to say in that situation, that's what it was too.
Yeah.
Because for sure, I was the one that was interpreting something. He said something, and I was the one that was like, yo, why that sound like that? And, you know, and I for sure, you know, I don't like to be ignorant, you know, but I know it's in me. And so just that no fear of nobody kind of thing, because Steelie was the man at the time. Let me not mince my words. Steelie is one of the, at that time especially, was one of the biggest dancehall acts, juggling everything, you know. Him alone shell a place and pack a place and sell the most tickets. And so, you know, he's way more popular than me and way everything, but I still felt like, so the fuck what? I heard something and I don't like how it sound. And so instead of having a conversation with him about it, I got off code. And yeah, man, you know, I went a streetway around it, and then you know, I took it to the radio station, and made it public instead of and then when all those people on the radio station heard it, yo, it was up, you know, because everybody like, nah, we never heard you like this.
It's the battery in your back. This is where you're almost at a crossroad. Am I taking the boost in? So yeah, man, well, Koffee or whatever the case is, or am I gonna get back into myself?
Right.
And try see.
And that's why I have to say salute to Brother Fuka again, because he knew both of us. He was like, y'all are both cool people. One phone call, and I'm sure y'all are gonna be like, yo, what the hell are we doing? You know, and a little bit of explanation like, yo, when I said that, that's not what I meant. You know, and then you go, okay, that's not what you meant. Well, then, yeah, I got no problem. Yo, that was it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, you know, and you had a little time where you just see each other and don't say nothing, but, you know, eventually you realize you can't really function like that because we're going to constantly see each other. We're going to always be in the same room. And so somebody got to walk over and be like, yo, we good? You know? And so salute to Steelie Bashment, man. Still one of the most talented people in the game. Steelie, I know you have a big dance called Rewind, and I've been, you've called me for it several times, man. I'm gonna definitely do it one time. But I've got lots of stories like this, you know. But the reason why I say I got no problems with nobody in the industry, in any industry at all, is because I get on the phone with you. We're not gonna text. We're not gonna text, bro.
Email.
We're not gonna say, yo, we're not gonna DM.
Hear my voice.
Yo, we're gonna talk. Or I'm gonna run up on you and we're gonna talk. And if you don't like it, then it's cool. I got no problem with wherever it goes. I probably still will not be the person online chastising you. You can go ahead and continue to do that. But again, it's never gotten there. Usually the phone call, that's it. That's it. And I think that's growth and that's grown man shit. And again, to me, that's on code. Being very aware of how to handle situations. and being able to grow in your business. Yeah, man. And so I just been on cold, man.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's just very much. And shout out to everybody that's like me too, man. Nobody don't know the real you. They just know a nickname.
Entertainment.
Yeah, they just know the entertainment. You know.
Got you do your thing, smile, the hell you feel. And
yeah, man.
Once you go home, you're home, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? You don't need to know what's going on here.
Trust me, bro, when I tell you, I don't put nothing personal online. Nothing. And that's because I don't know who y'all are.
Yeah.
I don't know who none of y'all are watching me.
And I don't want to sharing it with, or sometimes, you know what? But again, we come from a place before social media. So to see us doing this every 5 seconds, I can speak for me, it doesn't come across as natural.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
When I'm doing it, I'm doing it because I got a job.
It's a brand. You know
it's a brand. So you want me to run a joke with the phone like this? No problem.
But to be serious,
otherwise, I'm putting my phone down. And that's why, like, even with like the group chats and stuff, man, man, they're fun. They're fun, man. They're fun. The jokes, the humor, the camaraderie, talking about shit not music related. They're fun.
And you get to free up a bit.
Yeah, man, they're fun. And also you get to war with people, you know. And I love, like I said, I still love it.
Yeah.
You know, so dissing people, running jokes, being really mean. I love it.
But it's to a selected group of friends.
Yeah, man, it's the people that
understand what we're in here.
Right. Yeah, man. Now, some of them, they're going to cry for a long time and hate you forever because the joke was too good. That's no problem. Anybody that don't like me, usually I dealt with them in a joke that was damn good, and them still don't recover from it. And so they're the first ones that if something goes wrong with me, if I fall somewhere and it's a public fall and people are like, damn, they're the first one to run in and be like, laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji. You know what I'm saying? Or, see, yeah, man, I tell you I'm no good. But it's usually, but it's usually people that I've dissed in my humor because what they gonna do? And they weren't able to formulate a joke that was better. And so they're still hurt. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I don't care about your feelings. I don't, but I also don't care if you like me or not. And I don't care about the joke I said. It was just a joke I said one time. I've moved on. I immediately moved on.
Keep it
so
moving.
You know, for me, I usually end up just being cool with everybody.
Yeah.
Because usually people can say, yeah, man, Walsh is just running jokes, bro. But I had to really think about my time management as a business owner. And that's when I decided, yeah, man, I'm going to take myself away from a lot of the things that take up time. So I stopped watching sports completely.
Okay. You don't watch sports. You just attend the Super Bowls and those big,
but
and
even
the World Cups and stuff like that. But you don't watch.
Yeah, man, but even then, I don't know who's on. I don't know who's on the field, and I'm doing it as a brand. I'm going to be like, yo, look at my brand, invest in this brand. I'm at these big events.
That's so weird to even hear you say that. And again, literally, you were at the World Cup.
Yeah.
And literally, you were at Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I don't watch either sport anymore.
That is insane to even.
And anybody that knows me knows American football. Yo, I'm a ting. I still wear a Dolphins hat.
Yeah.
But do I know what the Dolphins are up to? No.
Got
you know, I don't watch it anymore because it wasn't investing back in me. And I understand the joy of it, so I don't knock it. Anybody, don't think I'm knocking sports at all. But it's just like you start to realize that your time management and your investment, you know, and Dante's, my bar that I own in Wynwood at Dante's Hi-Fi, began to take up a lot of time. Because one thing I will say, anybody out there that's owned a restaurant, a bar, a club, if you are the person, if you're kind of like an outside person, a celebrity or a person that people know in the community, they actually want you to be there every time they pull up.
Okay.
So if you own a bar and you say, yeah, man, Muscle's bar, come through, your Muscle need to be there.
You know what? You're right. That was back to the music selling days. When I'm there, people wanted to see me on location.
Yeah, man. And they buy more, right? Because you're the man with the expertise. So now if you have a girl there and she's just selling, they say, the whole experience is not the same.
Even the conversation.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
So I got to be at Dante's all the time. And so the kind of conversations I would have in the group chat, now I have at Dante's. And Dante's then rewards me monetarily. You know what I'm saying?
Very smart. I knew having this conversation would get those gems.
Yeah,
You know what
man.
I mean?
And then the same thing now, I've also opened a farm. I also bought a farm. So
Talk to
we
me
talk about that.
Talk to me about the farm.
So I bought a farm in October. And it's 3 acres. And I've been trying to figure out this whole farming thing. It's very difficult. And so therefore it takes a lot of research, a lot of meetings and conversations with people that know how to run a farm. And that's what I've been really focusing on, is doing the farming. So of course I'm going to do mushrooms on it. But I'm going to do other things like vanilla beans, seasonings, some other fruits. I have several mango trees on it. And a couple other businesses that I'm going to do on the farm. But shout out to Tashina. She helped me buy that farm. I appreciate you. She also is from Carroll City. Big up. See, I kept it. Yo, I kept my realtor. I kept it. Yeah, I kept it
because
CC all
the
day.
funny thing with it, now that you say it, I remember us having conversations, you speaking about farming and stuff like that. And this is way before you bought the farm. This was like beginning of pandemic. You were talking about.
Yo, it's a vision board, and like I said, I got my vision board right here. Everything on this vision board, everything I had on my vision board last year, I got.
Bap.
This vision board right here, I'm already like 4 things deep. I'm about to buy this Jeep Wrangler that's on my vision board right now. I'm into cars too. Shout out to all the people in Miami that have seen a couple of my cars. Again, nobody would know that though, because the only one I ever show is this white 86 Chevy Silverado that I have. I show that one every now and then.
Yeah.
But the other cars, man, because at the end of the day, you don't know who's watching. And I just want to live my life. I just like to live my life. I like to go anywhere I want to go and just be like, know.
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. And so I keep all of that offline. And I think anybody out there that knows the internet knows there are weirdos on the internet. There's no question, no denying it.
Bro, you have 100,000 followers. You're going to tell me you know these?
Yeah,
You're going to tell me
I don't know these people, man.
100,000 people.
I don't know who the hell you are.
Well, all day, every day.
I don't know who the hell you are.
Boss, listen, there's 2
Yeah,
artists.
some of the people that you know don't wish you well. So it's all you're
Much
like,
less
let me just leave it offline.
2
Let me
artists
give you
I
exactly what I
ask
want you to know.
about. Koffee and Tiwa Savage. All right.
Okay.
2 female, 1 reggae, 1 more Afrobeat, Afropop, Afrofusion.
Right.
How do you connect with each of them?
Well, Koffee, I got to say shout out to Palmer, who was or is probably still a music teacher, and I believe he linked with Koffee originally, and he found out that I had worked with Chronixx when Chronixx was extremely early.
Chronixx, yes.
Right. And so he was like, yo, I got this artist. I'd love for you to meet her. And I was like, yo, bring her to my house. Maybe I said something I shouldn't have said, just now. But yeah, people, I still live in Jamaica. You already know. But he brought her to my house in Jamaica, and she was 17 at the time, I think. And she definitely, we just sat in the dining room, and her and Palmer, they played a bunch of songs, and I heard a bunch of songs, and I was like, yo, she's really actually beyond exceptional. She's extremely good, and we started to work. And so I executive produced her first album, but I gotta say, man, I didn't find her anywhere. Palmer was the first one. He brought her to me, and he was like, yo, work with her. So shout out to him every time.
And then all that work there produced the Grammy.
Yeah, man. So I won 1 Grammy. I've only won 1 Grammy, and that was with Coffee Toast. I've been nominated several times.
Okay.
But I've won 1.
With Toast. And Tiwa now, how do you connect with her? Because remember, Jamaica, she's from Nigeria. These 2 things here. Again, this is back to Beat Street Records.
Yes,
you
it is,
understand?
man. Yeah, because you start to get the Fela Kuti records and all of that is at Beat Street. Yeah, the African records. But I will say this much. By the time Tiwa Savage comes around, I'm already at a level. So it's not like before. T was very aware of myself and Major Lazer. And so it's a mutual conversation. And we're on tour in Africa a lot, so I meet a lot of these people backstage, and they're a fan of Major Lazer, I'm a fan of them, things like that, And so it ends up being a great collaboration versus Chronixx and Koffee. where it was much more, yo, here's a very new artist that's exceptional, that's beyond good, you know, and I got a great chance to work with both of them.
Get into that Chronixx situation. How did that come up? Because you know what? I forgot that it was Chronixx before Koffee.
Yeah, man, Start to Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one I might not remember. I don't remember who it was that introduced me to Chronixx. It might have been J. Will and Carlene. It might have been, I don't remember who, but I do remember we did the mixtape at Big Yard. And we had met, I met him at J. Will at 10A. I met Chronixx at 10A. Them time Chronixx just a twist him locks, you know, brother. Just a twist.
You could see from the mixtape you guys put out, they were just buddies.
Just a twist the locks, man. And him have some song when have nothing to do with Rasta. Like him have some song where I talk about yellow and all kind of thing. And they were dope, beyond dope actually, you know? And that's why I always say, man, I wish one day, you know, we could do a Chronixx for Chronixx show with me, Max Glacier, and Soul Supreme. You know, Chronixx for Chronixx dub plate show. And I'm, yo, it's weird to say how confident I am. I would have the most Chronixx on dub, just because of that mixtape and the songs that I did not put on the mixtape, because Chronixx, he started to change, you know, how he wanted to perceive himself, to brand himself.
While doing
yeah, man. So the Rasta thing was happening while the process of the mixtape was happening, and so we have a bag of songs that was on some other topics. Bad though, bad.
He had the delivery, he had the essence of Chronixx, just with different words in place of the rest of it.
And I'll tell you no lie, I think no one else ever, I doubt somebody else has those songs. I really think I'm the only one in the world that has those songs. And maybe there's like a Spanish Town sound that have them. Yeah. But I think I'm the only one in the world to have those songs. And I don't think the world would ever hear them.
And what were the songs that broke off of that mixtape?
Curtain.
That was on the mixtape.
Start to Fire. No, the biggest one on the Get Free Rhythm, Wall Street.
Yes.
Yeah, man, biggest one. That actually went insane because even though it was a dub plate, everyone was playing it. So I'd go to a party and I'd hear it and it'd be like, Walshy Fire, you tell him Wall Street that I'm coming soon. Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow, that's dope.
Play my dub.
I was like, that's dope. But Black Chiney was the same thing. And that's why it was like, yo, this is so crazy that my life is kind of gone like this. Because Black Chiney was the same thing where people were playing full on Black Chiney name at a party and just be like getting the forwards. And that's all that matters, right? Is to get you forward and please the people. So with that being said, you know, I would love that day. One day, Soul Supreme, Federation Sound, and Walshy Fire. We go Chronixx for Chronixx. I see who have the most.
Until the last dub is played, whoever is standing is standing.
Because, but like I said, that would have to be a day that Chronixx would have to host it and be okay with me playing those dubs. But I don't think that'll ever happen, and I don't think everyone will ever hear those dubs ever.
That's wild. Yeah. Walshy, your life has been thus far, because you still got a gazillion years to go, has been nothing short of amazing in different ways and in different realms. That's why I like having conversations with somebody like you that could articulate what you've been through and how you think you got there. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people end up places and they don't really know why or how they got there. You understand? So speaking with you, the way how you articulate it is always freaking amazing. You understand?
Yeah, man. And again, I just want to remind everybody, man, I went to FAMU for journalism. Bro. Yeah. So it worked. You know what I'm saying? I definitely was able
to. In that style.
Yeah, man. I definitely was able to articulate an idea in a time frame and very well because of actually going to journalism school.
You got media training before you needed media training.
Yeah, man. I got my master's in journalism, TV, film, and radio. So, you know, those are skills I'll have for life, for sure. I have a unique life for sure, bro. For sure. not too many people have had a life like mine, and if they did, not too many people have made it or have been able to see the level of success I have. Like, yo, when people that know me,
Yeah.
they see me on a stage in front of like 100,000 people, like they're like, yo, I can't believe that's the same guy that used to walk around selling cassette tapes.
That guy.
That's him. I used to sell hats too. I used to sell fake.
You're a real Jamaican.
I used to sell fake New Era hats.
You're a real Jamaican with 8 million jobs.
Yeah, man.
You see, I was going to...
You know,
that's a show. You don't remember the show?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw that was in Living Color.
Yes, yeah, and the show was called Yeah, man.
Yeah, the family that had mad jobs.
Listen, last one I got for you. You've done so many amazing things. What's something that you really want to do, whether it be musical, let's say musical, in your professional career that you still really want to go to find it, go there? What is there something still there that you're looking for?
Yeah, man. So we're going to exclude being a great farmer. Like, we're just going to stick to music, right? Because farming has definitely been like my greatest passion right now. I definitely want to take my events to stadium levels. Like, I'm going to just, since we're doing it, man, I'm going to manifest that my events become a part of Live Nation and get taken to a whole new level. And my 2 events are Detour, which is a soca event that I do with Private Ryan Saeed, and Jay Upscale. And then I have another one called Sounds of Shrine, a.k.a. The Shrine, which is my African Afrobeats event. And those events do very well. They're both at about 2,000 people each. If you're in New York, July 1st, Brooklyn, under the Cape Bridge. And then if you're in Miami, for Miami Carnival. And then if you're in Miami for Art Basel, that's the 3 times I do those events a year. I'd like to increase that. I'd like them to be in bigger venues. I'd like them to be some of the, if not the biggest events to represent the Caribbean culture and the Afro fusion culture. And that's a big dream for me. So that's definitely something else I'd want to do in music. Dante's my vinyl bar. We opened up one in Austin, Texas already. We're opening one in Mexico City this year, and most likely opening one in London very soon. So I have those 2 ventures that are music related that I'm heavily focused on, heavily. Like any investment, every dollar I make goes right back into it.
That's where you're at. That's where it's at for Walshy Fire.
Yeah, man. And of course, still producing great music. Still want to have, be able to participate in making people move at the club or having good music. I'm working on an album right now with Challenger and these guys from Denmark with Randy Valentine as the lead singer. And I would love to see that act be on NPR, Tiny Desk, and Colors and these kinds of places, because I believe the project is extremely unique. The project is a jazz project.
You see it?
Yeah, man. So I'm going to say that again. Lead vocalist, Randy Valentine. Jazz project. And that's where like my mind is at. I have a full Brazilian album that's finished. I'm just shopping it right now. And then I have a Miami-based project that's just for me. I love it.
Your passion project?
Yeah, my passion project. And in between that, I still do rhythms. I have had 3 releases this year, one with J&R Choi, one with Azizi Romeo called Africans, an EP that I executive produced of Azizi Romeo. That came out a couple weeks ago. And Major Lazer has a I'm a Piano album dropping with Major League on the 24th of March. I don't know when this is going to drop, but go check it out. We've already put out 3 singles. Brenda Fassie song, which is the biggest song, Designer. Big up to everybody who knows who Brenda Fassie is, by the way. If you don't know who Brenda Fassie is, just Google. And the song with Tiwa Savage and Cuckoo Fun and stuff like that.
I know that was when you guys done some work with, what did the DJs call again?
Major League. Yeah, man.
Major League. Yes.
Yeah, so it's a whole collaboration album, just I'm a Piano though. So it's a lot of fun. Shout out to everybody that's familiar with I'm a Piano, that sees its popularity and Yeah, man. I'm doing my best, man. But music related, yeah. That's all in the pipeline. And that takes a lot of time and focus, man. I'm not going to lie. So shout out to everybody that I haven't spoken to in a while in a lot of these group chats or on a lot of message boards or on a lot of the places where I used to get a chance to. Yeah, man. But at the same time, I do respect them. And, and I don't know if if they're still going, but you know what I'm saying? Yo, trust me, guys. Yo, trust me, man. I know the jokes are good. I know the jokes are good, man. When I tell you, yo, I miss it, man. I know the jokes are good. I know them good, I know them good. But yeah, man, Dante's is really a full-time thing now. And so I kind of just hang out there and move the business forward.
Definitely. Leave some contact info where they could follow your journey, whatever you're doing on social media. Any contact info before I get you out of here?
Yeah, man, at Walshy Fire, man. And big up to Tarantula, man. Probably one of the best interviews you've done.
Wicked.
Good to have him in the building, man. Tarantula, you already know, man. Friend for life. Man, so many people I would big up, but it would take forever. So yeah, but just follow Walshy Fire. Message me. And if you need any help, again, I stay thinking of ways to help people. I'm always a good person in contact, man. So
for sure.
Yeah, man.
Since I got you here live after 3 years, I gotta tell you even thank you. You're the first person, the only person to put me on a digital world tour when you were doing the Quarantine Clash. Remember, I spoke to people from Japan, India,
Thank you
Israel,
for doing that
Jamaica.
Too. Thank you for doing that too, man. Thank you for taking the time to speak to these people because they also, I think, really appreciated it. And to be honest, man, Quarantine Clash was amazing, man. Yeah. And what a good time for what it did during that time. And I really hope that it brought a lot of people enjoyment, and I hope a lot of people got exposure to the culture, and hope the sounds got exposure as well. And it got a lot of hate from a lot of people as well, but that's a part of the game, and you gotta understand that, and I love that.
If you're not doing something at a high enough level for somebody else to see, you're not doing it, boss.
Not even that. That's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we need people to give a fuck. And if the way that they show that they really care about something is that way, I love it. Yeah, I love it, man. We need people to give a fuck. Because just imagine if nobody cared. And so if they don't agree with how I'm doing something, or if they don't like how I'm doing something, or they just don't like that I'm doing it, man, salute to them every time, because I don't want them to not change. I want them to continue to be very opinionated and to be in love with this thing, and passionate about this thing.
Passion is love and passion is hate too, You exactly. Just want passion.
I just want the passion. I don't want that to go out. I want to make sure that when somebody does something, that there's noise. And not me just alone, but when somebody does something, there's noise. Because when there's no noise, damn, it's dead. There's no heartbeat, damn.
Dead.
So because I see a lot of clashes now happening, like it feels good to see so many clashes happening and being well supported. And I don't know if I'd ever do a clash. I have had an opportunity to. I've had people ask me, but I don't want to thin my timeline with more projects. I think I've got enough on the plate.
On the go.
But I always support though. Like when I clash, I keep. I pull up.
Yeah.
I pull up, man. I pull up. I always show up. As long as it's in the routing, or if I can, I show up.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably a great thing to see a lot of the promoters, sound men also promoting. I saw a thing where it looks like Irish and Chin are going to be doing a new style to their World Clash, which sounds like a little bit more of a juggling kind of clash, which I think a lot of people are doing as well. And that's great.
In today's modern society, I think to really get the real numbers you want, something like that more works opposed to the hardcore.
Yeah, man. And I don't know their business. I don't know if they were making money or losing money. But
just from optics, from the outside looking in.
I think that they're doing a smart move just because it's a change. And again, when everything is just consistent, sometimes people don't appreciate it, or it just gets stale. And so whatever they felt the reason for the change was, man, salute to them. And salute to every sound Salute to all the exciting sounds right now that are really killing the game. And salute to every promoter that's doing a great job, man.
Mm-hmm. Walshy.
Because we are sound man for life.
Yeah. So we don't know if this whole story was
a lie or the truth. No, man. Yeah, man. No, man.
Walshy.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yes, King.
You understand?
One love, man.
And
to
you
the
know
max.
how, I'm going to tell them how all of this even started. This all started with a comment on an interview I did with Pablo from Soul Survival.
Big up Pablo from Soul Survival. Big up Toga Chung. Yo, let me tell you something. Pablo from Soul Survival has probably been one of the best friends I've had that I never had before. Mm-hmm. Just like in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Just a nice guy, full of knowledge. He been there. He did it. I saw he just won a clash the other day. Mm-hmm. So it's good to see he's still active, but he gets it. Mm-hmm. And the stories with Toga Chung, insane. Yeah. And I would love to do something with him on a Toga Chung project because, again, I see the legacy there. But such a great guy, man. Big up to all the sounds in Toronto that I'm friends with. And shout out to my cousin Lindo P. Big up to Randy, a.k.a. Jack of Spades. My other cousin.
Okay.
Big up Ratty. Yeah, man. Big up all other people them in our Pickering, Scarborough.
All of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Big up the whole of Ajax where I see some things that go on now. Wow. But I've had a long history here. Mm-hmm. In Canada and in Toronto especially, man. So it's a great joy to be able to be here, to actually be here, man. Yeah. And, I have a show tonight, so we got to get out of here. But for sure, man, shout out to everybody. And I really appreciate this conversation, man.
Mm-hmm. No, I appreciate it even so much more. As I said, this was 3 years in the making, bro. 3 years, but we made it happen. Let me give you an outro and get you out of here from this epic conversation. To see it from your eyes and to see how you could still remain you while going through all of this. Good, bad, and indifferent.
And I'll tell you what, man, I think we just scratched the surface, to be honest with you. Next time I come around, we won't do my origin story. We'll do like a whole other set of questions.
Right. Fair enough.
And it'll be fun. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out. Well, see
the drama.
Holy shit, bro. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinesmusichut.com.